Hey y'all, thank you for being here. Larissa, I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna put it in your folder in Discord. I'll just put it in the general chat just in case. There you go. Yeah, it's always more fun when somebody's on panel with you. How are y'all doing? Yesterday was a crazy. It was really a crazy, crazy. Whoa, there we go. All right. Let me know if you can see my screen. My screen, okay. Hey John, how are you? Elizabeth, today you woke up and it was like live after live on some of my favorite channels. Really? That's awesome, Elizabeth. Hello, Terry Barker. How are you? I've never seen you before, so thank you for being here. Please hit that like. I usually don't say that, but I'm saying it now. Just I've noticed that the algorithm is kind of working against me. So there you go. Yes, I'm doing StreamYard. It's in the general chat in Discord. Hi, Drift Away. How are you? Hey, Heather. How are you? Thank you guys for being here. This is not going to be a terribly long live. I know we're all recovering from yesterday. All right, let me bring Miss Slaughter up here. Hey there, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's all good.
Perfect.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We're
Good.
doing some
Ex-
research. I was looking into phone pings because why not, right?
Right. Why not? Why not?
Why not? I'm also watching. I don't know. Do you do Netflix?
Yes.
I'm watching Peaky Blinders right now.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
watched it?
Okay. I haven't seen it, but I've been seeing it pop up and I was looking at it. I was going to click it today too, and I didn't. And I was like, man, I should have.
Dude, Cillian Murphy, I have a new crush. Literally, like the guy. Oh my god, he played the Scarecrow in Batman. And he did a Deception or was it Inception? I don't know. The guys that go into the dreams in the dreams. He was in.
Mm,
But man, that guy's a hottie. I'm just gonna say it.
I'm going to go look now.
You have to. Hey, Miss Shan, how are you? Hi, Paper Songs. Hey, Outdoorsy. Um, okay, so basically, Larissa, we're just gonna be looking at some stuff. And I'm looking at like the Kelsey, what was it? The Kelsey Smith Act.
Yes.
I didn't know about Kelsey Smith. Did you?
No, I didn't. So this is going to be interesting for me.
Yeah, you know how like the Amber Alert, there was a little girl named Amber that was abducted
Yes.
and she wasn't able to be found quick enough because they didn't have a system to
Right.
get information out there for everybody. So then that's where the Amber Alert came from.
Okay.
So Kelsey Smith, she it's because of her, it was the Kelsey Smith Act that the parents brought a bill in to be able to collect cell phone records, right? So
Hmm.
Verizon was the provider for this Kelsey girl. We're going to talk about her. I think it's important to honor these people. Sometimes we don't know where these laws came from
Right.
and
Right.
what child had to lose their life for others to be saved, essentially.
Oh, that's so true.
Um, so she was 17 years old. She was leaving a Target. She was shopping. I'm going to show some news clips here. She was leaving a Target and she was abducted in the parking lot. There's actual footage of her being abducted.
Oh, wow. And it
And
was released?
yeah,
Okay.
and we're going to watch some of it. And she was abducted. She was, sexually assaulted
Oh,
and then
man.
left somewhere. They caught the
Wow.
guy, thank God. But it took 4 hours for Verizon to agree to release the last known location of her cell phone.
Oh,
4
wow.
hours. If they would have acted sooner, they probably would have found her before all that bad stuff happened.
Right.
So the parents, of course, like what normal parents I feel like would do or try to do,
Mm-hmm.
they went and then try to change that. Not every state. This is not a federal law yet, from what I'm understanding, but many states have adopted this. So, do you? What is? I want to ask you something because I'm confused, kind of about the cell phone ping with Kiely. Like, is it
Mm-hmm.
clear to you whether they pinged the phone after she went missing and it was still on, and that's how they were able to get the ping, or are they searching for the last known location that she used it at?
You know what? That's a really good question, and I question that all the time. I'm assuming that it was for the last known location, but again, it said that her phone was dead, right? So, I'm guessing it's wherever the phone was last pinged at was pretty much what they're assuming was her last location. So, it's confusing because there's so many different times out there for Kiely, right? Of the last ping. There's 12:33, 12:30, 12:36, whatever times.
Hmm.
Um I'm unclear on a direct answer for what they were actually looking for, but I
Hmm.
definitely feel like it's wherever the phone's last message was for it to ping on the tower for them to be able to see where her last known location was at that point before it died.
Hmm.
So, um yeah, it's really it again with Kylie's story, it's just very difficult to know because there's so many different articles out there and so many different narratives being told.
Yes, you speak eloquently. I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
Uh, so this video, so I changed what was on the screen just so to. Have you seen this? Maybe. Um,
No, I haven't. This is, like I said, all going to be probably new to me. So,
well, then let me know what this tells you. I can tell that you're really good at analyzing information or what is being said. So
yes.
this is from KCRA, right? So this is from that Truckee area. Same news
Mhm.
station from all of Kylie's stuff. And hey, everybody that's coming in, I'm sorry I'm not ignoring you in the chat. But thank you for being here. This was published August 23rd, so 2 days after they found Kiely.
Okay.
KCRA felt the need to release this information. There are no coincidences.
Mhm.
The fact that they needed to release this, I think their own community was probably having questions about this cell phone ping,
Mhm.
etc. So I'm gonna play some of it. If you need me to stop or something, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
Ground searches, looking at surveillance video, talking with
Can you hear that? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Cool.
witnesses, that sort of thing. Pinging cellular devices is just one more tool in the toolbox that investigators have for finding missing persons.
Two recent high-profile missing persons cases in Northern California. In both searches, investigators pinged the cell phones of the people who disappeared.
Okay. Right there, what she said. They pinged them. To me, that sounds like they sent it out when they went missing.
Right. Um I mean, it just depends on how long it does take as well. Like in my eye, like it's I'm trying to see like the correct way to word it. I don't know if necessarily they pinged the phones right away and put that in for them to get the location of where they were last known. Um, that's a question that I have, is how long did it take for them to decide to ping the phones?
Yeah. I'm
Hmm.
guessing it was the next, well, as soon as she went missing, right?
Right. Was there ever an Amber Alert for Kylie? I don't think there
No,
was, right?
no.
Okay, which is wrong. There should have been an Amber Alert because she's a minor. Okay.
Right. Well,
So
you think so.
you would think so. So that's going to be interesting listening to this, because that's going to be my question, is how long does it take them to ping cell phones? And I hope that they give some insight on that. I
Yeah.
would hope that it is as soon as they go missing.
All right. You're going to find this very interesting. Check this out.
It is one of the primary tools that law enforcement does use today.
Jim Cook of Premier Cellular Mapping and Analytics, helping us understand how ping information is obtained and processed based on his years of experience helping law enforcement.
My assistance in the matter is interpreting the information that comes back from the carrier.
Cook, not involved with the searches for 16-year-old Kiely Rodni or missing couple Juan Zavala and Jeanette Pantoja, explains getting data from missing persons' cell phones starts with an exigency protocol, or investigators proving they need cell phone data because someone's life or safety are at extreme risk.
They will request the carrier to ping the device.
That means a signal goes out to the device associated with the person's number.
And based upon the device being on, it will yield a location via GPS with what they call a degree of accuracy.
That degree of accuracy could be 5 meters or 500 meters or even unknown. Investigators also getting the antenna or cell site that the phone connected to, which helps them know which way to focus their search.
The more pings or the more connections, the better the values for law enforcement.
But time is of the essence as battery strength fades, according to Cook.
The first few hours, if you will, are probably the most critical in trying to establish that location of where that device was when it was last on.
Investigators needing and using as many pieces of information they can get to help find missing people.
Okay, if you want to pause it right there really quick, I just want to add something. So they're pretty much saying that, like, it's pinging in, so they're pretty much saying before it dies, right? Before it dies or before it's shut off. Mm-hmm. That's where they're going to find the last known ping. Mm-hmm. So even if her phone or her was not in that location, she could have been somewhere completely different. It could also steer them in the wrong direction, and that kind of bothers me a little bit, that's kind of what they go off of.
Yeah.
Because it could not be accurate with the cell phone pings, right? So, and because they say, oh, you know, more towers that it hits, the better, because you get more accuracy with it. Well, with people's getting just one ping somewhere, that doesn't give you so much insight on where they could have been before the phone was turned off, or after the phone was turned off, or whatnot. And it also, when they said that that it was like a thing where they have to show the carriers that somebody's indeed, like, how long does that take?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. To have to request it and to prove that somebody is in immediate danger, like, how long does it take to get that that response from the carrier?
That's a good question. And this was like, so 4 months ago, I created a video around that, the video we're watching now, and I researched where these cell towers were. And so there you go. I'm not going to play my voice, but so you have these, essentially you have just 1, 2, 3, 4 cell phone towers and processors right here in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you have a whole bunch here by the freeway, of course. But so you would be able to establish like a digital trail. So this is Alder Hill is like right around here.
Right.
So this would have been the tower I think they pinged her off of, or this one. Look how far away.
Yeah, the other ones are.
Just to kind of give you guys like an idea of where these. Now this map is from 2020, so I don't know how many more they've put up, but just to give you guys an idea.
Now I also question if they can trace back through pings of the cell phone throughout the day what her activity was like, where she was located at throughout the day, because again, we don't have a timeline for like 4 hours. So from that last known surveillance photo, and the time she arrived at the party, or the time that her phone died or went off, there's so many hours unaccounted for. So I would like to know too, and maybe something that we can research is can they go back and ping all of the day's activities?
Well, I'm assuming that they have, but they're not going to release that, because why would they? right? If it was a
Right.
criminal investigation, then maybe they would have, or if they still haven't found her.
Hmm.
But it just bothers me, to me, and I don't know, maybe I'm being hard on law enforcement, but the last ping was right by where she was found, or that's what we're told. Isn't that what AWP said, that we got information from law enforcement, and that's why we started there? They literally went off that little part of the bank.
Hmm.
They decided to go through that. They didn't use the boat ramp or the official boat ramp or anything like that. They went through that specific area because that's where law enforcement had the last pink. But that's just my assumption.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So how did they not find her? I think I just can't get off of that.
Yeah, if law enforcement had that ping before AWP was there, then they should have known the location that they were searching for her in. Now, how they missed her when they did all of those extensive searches in Prosser, I have no clue. Like, it's all speculation on what it could have been.
Mhm.
But the fact that AWP went off of her last ping and found her is just, it's a little odd, right? So
Yes.
I mean, it does raise a lot of questions. Like, and if they're saying they're using sonar and drones and helicopters and things like that, you would have thought that they would have found her. So that's a lot of the reason why I thought law enforcement was shady in the very beginning of the
Mhm.
case.
And that's why
So,
we all have questions about it. So,
right.
but that's why we're looking at it through this, right? So this video is from KCRA. You all know KCRA at this point. We'll look at what they
Mm-hmm.
say about the phone pings. But we'll get into that a little bit more. But check it out. Let's finish this.
Within roughly about a 48-hour period,
Hold on.
can look.
Any pieces of information they can get to help find missing people.
They can look back at within roughly about a 48-hour period, the history of that device, both based upon its data connections, its text messages, as well as its calls.
Cook says mobile devices are of great help in tracking the locations of people who are lost.
We all have that, little square box we all carry with us. It's an umbilical cord.
But as advanced as they are, they too come with limitations.
And some good ideas for families or people who often hike outdoors. Have a device tracking app installed and on your phone. That information can also help investigators zero in on your location if you're lost. Bring a backup power source. Remember, those pings don't work unless the device has power. And finally, if you end up hurt and you are...
That's interesting.
What do you think? I just heard you say,
Yeah, it's interesting to me because they just said that they can track back 48 hours, right? So that does answer one of my questions is, can they see her day's activity and build a timeline through that where her cell phone was pinging? So that answers a question for us. But it doesn't work after the phone goes off.
Right.
So again, you look at it, it's a very helpful resource, but how helpful is it if the person is, say, abducted and they have their phone went off in this location? You guys are looking in this location, but they could be all the way in Mexico by now.
Yeah.
But the phone is off and you don't know. So how reliable is that in searches for missing people and helping them?
Yeah. Well, I guess giving them a timeline, some sort of a timeline, or
Right.
because kids are now glued to their phones,
Yeah.
I still want to know where that damn phone is, though, or what they got off of it. Oh,
I
wow.
have definitely heard that, excuse me, I've heard that they have it. I've heard that they don't have it. It all just begs the question again of who's saying what and what information is correct. It's a mind-boggling case in my complete opinion. Like, it is just so hard to know what's fact from what's fake.
Yeah. And, questioning law enforcement is not fun. It's not like us that have issues with this case. It's not because we want to find everything wrong with law enforcement. Like, I want to trust them because I believe there are amazing officers out there. I don't think every officer in Placer County is corrupt. I think there are a lot of good people that have badges, but at the same amount of good people, there's bad people.
Right.
People that have kids, that it's a small community. So you can't ignore that fact.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Driftaway says, ladies, they knew the location and had their own divers and sonar in the water. Ellie had a live commentary about it. Yeah, that's how AWP found Kiely. They had information that was given to them by law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
She had GPS display on her control panel and car plus Bluetooth connection. I don't know if that car actually had Bluetooth, but I'm assuming so because it was like 20. This is a 2015, right?
So a lot of people told me that they have that in that car, specifically the 2000, I think it's 2013 Honda CRV. That they have OnStar and like all this GPS stuff in it and whatever, and they would have been able to locate like the car or whatever. I've heard a lot of theories of that. But if that's all true, then why couldn't they have located the car based on the car's last known destination? You know?
That's true.
So it does, as much as we can say, oh yes, it has GPS and all of this stuff, we don't know if they looked into the GPS into the car. And we don't know, if that's how they found the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is a question of it. Did they even think about that? Did they even look into that? Is that how they found it, or did they just go off the last cell phone ping? So it's interesting. It's interesting because if they did go off the GPS of the car, they should have known where the car's last known location was before it went into the water.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I don't know. Yeah, she was found right there.
Yeah.
I sound like such an a-hole. I don't mean to, y'all.
It blows your mind. It blows your mind because you really think you do want to have the faith in the law enforcement that they are doing the right thing and they're not doing the wrong thing. And that they really did maybe overlook something, or they made a mistake, or they maybe just didn't catch it on their equipment, or their equipment was not working correctly. You want to look at all those possibilities, as well as like maybe it wasn't the law enforcement's fault. But at the same time, you do have to look at it from a real point of view, is how come they couldn't find her in the spot where her phone last pinged with all of this equipment, and AWP had to come and find her. Like, and they have, I think,
the same equipment.
Less technological equipment than the police do, right? So
well, there was an interview with Doug and Nick, and Doug said we have the same equipment. The same equipment was used.
Oh, they do. Okay,
yeah.
So there shouldn't have been. Honestly, if they had the same equipment, then she should have been found by law enforcement, and that's just my opinion. There's no way that they should have missed her, and AWP came on in this tiny little boat and found her.
Yeah, it's well, let me see. Advanced technology, Ruby, hi Ruby. Advanced technology can track a phone unless battery is removed. Correct.
Okay.
That's why they say, or like, in those spy movies, they say take the battery out of your phone. So because your phone can still listen to you, people can into your phone if the battery's still in there. Why do you think iPhones you can't remove the battery?
What's weird is we have that. I don't know if you have an iPhone or not.
Yes.
I have an iPhone. When my phone is turned off, I can still find the location of my phone through the Find My app. Find My Friends or whatever.
Yeah.
So if they have capabilities like that, if anybody had her location, they would have still been able to locate her phone at that time.
Well, didn't Mom have that 360 app?
Yeah, that's what was said. So if you have those things, how did it take so long to find her?
Right. It was 11 p.m. that night at the party is when they charged the phones, when they went into the car to charge the phone. At what time did Kiely text Mom to say, I'm gonna be later?
So I've heard a couple different times for that as well, but 11:30 I believe is the most pertinent one, because I remember making a video saying Jagger said he last talked to her at 10:30. Mom said it was 11:30 that she talked to her, and then Sammy said 12:30 was the last time she talked to her. Right. So it was all within an hour of each other that they all talked to Kiely. So yeah, 11:30 would have been Lindsay's time for contacting Kiely.
Yes, and I can't bring up the time right now because I would have to like go back in my search history. But there's an interview, and I speak. I'm very like confident about this information. It was 11 o'clock that Sammy and Kiely, according to Sammy, went into the car to charge their phones and like of course do whatever other things. And so if Kiely is calling or texting mom at 11:30, your phone is charging for 30 minutes at that point.
Yes.
So the phone didn't die, right? The phone, especially an iPhone,
Mhm.
it will stay on for a little bit if it's submerged in water.
Mhm.
So the ping is still going to happen even after it goes into the water.
Right. And if she went into the water like a lot of people think that she did
That night.
at 12:30 that
Mhm.
night, then her phone should have still been on, and there should have been still a hit there for a little bit of the time after her last ping, right?
Yes.
So it again, it's a weird, questionable situation with that. It's it like they turned her phone off. It wasn't dead. There's no, and iPhones charge fast.
They do.
They charge fast, and they last a long time, especially say that you put your phone on low power mode or low battery mode or whatever it is. uh, they're going to stay on for a while. So I don't think, if all of these kids were not on their phone like at this party like everybody claims, right, then the phone shouldn't have been dead because she wasn't on it.
Right. So let me look at some of these comments. Turquoise says, so why not focus on the waterways around the party more, and so close, so wrong, should have deep dive into water where the last phone activity was. Right. J Rod, hi J Rod, says SF investigates said the FBI have the phone, but I think he was lying. I mean, a lot of us have our opinions about SF investigates. Really, I mean, it's you decide if you want to believe or how he believes stuff. Remember that details change over time, also.
Yeah, more comes out, less comes out.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
it's like the telephone game.
It is like a telephone game. It makes you wonder if these people were really present. Like sometimes I wonder if Sammy just made this whole thing up that she was with her for clout or something like that. Like, and I don't think that she was actually with Kiely at all. Sometimes this whole thing just blows your mind. Like I've picked apart SF so much and everything that he said because I have a tendency to pick out people's contradictions and lies. And so when I put one interview with one thing said to another interview, it makes you feel like that person is not credible. And so for SF saying that the FBI has it, I don't know if I can believe that.
And no one can disprove him either. So I feel like sometimes he puts out facts out there, or what he thinks are facts.
Yes.
Because no one can fact check him. And now this is just my opinion. He seems like somebody that changes depending on who he's talking to.
Yeah.
So the way he talked to Zav Girl is different than he talked to CNY or every other channel. Like he's like a chameleon.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's telling you what you want to hear, or I don't know. Like he isn't. I feel like he profiles who he's gonna be interviewed by.
Yeah.
He does. That's what it sounds like to me when he speaks, because kids do that. Kids are people pleasers, or like when I'm at school, the kids change who they are, right? They're one person with me, they're another person with the parent. They probably still show me they're still honest, but they change the way that they give information or how transparent they are. And I mean, this, you have children too. So that's what I see SF like. But anyway, sorry. Ruby, hi Ruby, who checked the tracks the day after party? So the person that went to the party site was Madeline Wicks. That was the person that she volunteered because she was supposed to go camping with Kiely the next day. And so mom told Madeline, hey, Kiely didn't come home. So Madeline volunteered to go. And so I have this whole other issue with, was she at the party? Maybe she was. I mean, who's not going to go to a party like that?
Right.
But no, but also, are you going to admit to go, especially if you probably weren't supposed to?
Right.
I remember being a teenager.
Is there a confirmation on, since you brought up the camping trip the next day? Because I've also thought that maybe the camping trip, maybe it wasn't a party, maybe it was a camping trip as well. Do we have a confirmation of how many kids were supposed to be on this camping trip and who was included? Like, was it Sammy, Mags, Madeline, and Kiely, or is there like a confirmation on who was supposed to be there the next day?
Yeah, well, all I know that it was Madeline. That's it.
Okay.
I don't know anybody else.
Okay.
Let's see. But I don't know. It's just like, why are you going to go partying at a Why are you gonna go to a party again? I mean, I don't know. Kids are kids. You're gonna go to a party, but then you have to wake up very early to go camping. Were they gonna go camping at Prosser? Is that why Sammy said I thought she was gonna stay the night? Because most kids do that.
Oh, that could be true.
I don't know. Hi, Oregon Outback. AWP, he says, AWP put two boats in the water. You're right, Oregon. They did put two boats, and so they kind of they started in two different locations. So I misspoke when I said they knew where it was. So AWP started it. They did have two different boats.
Right.
I
Yeah.
forgot that. That was my bad.
I think Nick was in one and then Doug was in another.
Correct.
Yes.
Rosie, hi Rosie. How come I can never find this channel searching it and I know it's called if I'm it's now it's back to Ara. I changed my mind on what to call it. I don't know. I like using my name. Honda Link, yes. Hi Turquoise. This is a baffling case. Yes, it is. Hi, one of the real ones. OnStar has to have a paying subscription to work. That's true. Like Sirius Radio.
Okay.
White Rain. I'm wondering if that kid really saw her that day. You're talking about Nick? I want to know what it was that he said to AWP that made him legit, because he had to show them something or say something for AWP to say, okay, we need to put this in the video. You know what I mean?
So I think I did a live on this not too long ago. I went over Nick's full like raw uncut footage, and Nick's girlfriend was actually there with AWP when they were filming his interview. And I know that he had mentioned that after he saw Kiely, or after he found, or yeah, he called his girlfriend after he saw Kiely because he said the situation was really weird. And so she went back in her phone and showed the proof of, I guess, the situation to AWP. And I think that's what made him seem legitimate. I did catch that in the very end of that live.
Sorry, I was talking and I was muted.
Oh, I was like, are you still here? I was
Shoot.
going to say, are you still here?
No, I'm still here. What I was saying is like if somebody can drop Miss Slaughter's page, I really appreciate like your like how honest you are. Um, you're totally different than me though. We're so different, but I like that you just say what you think. Um, one day I will grow up to be like that.
I just look at it as a point of view of we're all here to get justice for Kiely, and I look at it like it doesn't seem like these people cared very much about her to leave her at this party and to let her be hurt the way that she was and not be here anymore. And so the way I think of it is, I don't care whose feelings I hurt in the process. It's putting whatever truths out there that I can put and whatever is fact out there that I can put, and getting justice for Kiely. Like, Kiely matters in this situation, and nobody else seems to care about her.
Yeah.
So, and that's just how I look at things. And just got to be, I don't know. I'm just straight up honest. I have to be.
I like it. You know what's cool is that it's so many different people, different characters, different everybody. We all have come together. Like this is what kind
Yes.
of unites us,
Mhm.
and I think that's beautiful. I think Kylie's spirit is living through all of us in some way. I
She's
mean,
definitely brought us all together, like in such a beautiful way, to meet so many beautiful people that are passionate about the same thing.
so her spirit lives on. But I just wanted to say if somebody can drop Miss Larissa's link down below, I would appreciate it. Karim says White Rain could have been another car with similar plates. Carmack says, "Oh, thank you for the thumbs up." J Rod says, "We believe the laptop gave the last ping, not the phone. Who's we?" And then says specifically when they said it is proof the mom got a text from Kiely after the CRV has been in the water. Do Sammy have the phone? I'm not sure what you're saying. But you can ping a laptop too. She had a Mac laptop. You can do on the Find My whatever. But I don't think the Life 360 app was on her laptop. Let's see. I also can Turquoise says I also can't get past the fact that there had to be some sort of tracks on the shoreline before the car being pulled out. Are you saying like what is are they saying that there were tracks before they pulled the car out? That could
Mm,
that could have been the wrecker like trying to, adjust itself. I don't know.
I mean, if you think about it technically, like, the dad was riding his quad and everything like that. So yeah, there was stuff before she was pulled out of the water. There was obviously tire tracks before she was pulled out of the water. Were
Mhm.
they hers necessarily? We really can't confirm that, and I don't necessarily think that there was any tire tracks from her. I personally don't know if I don't think that that car was driven into there the way that it seems like it was.
If you don't mind me asking, what is your theory? I'm just curious now because you said that.
I have a lot of theories. So back in before I started my channel, actually the same day that I started my channel, I was on Upchurch's panel, and we were discussing how the car could have got into the water with there being no tire tracks there. And nobody noticed the tire tracks, not even the next day, right? The
Mhm.
tire tracks, if she was speeding, if she went off some, you know, say that she went off of a little dirt road bump, right?
Mhm.
Her car is going to hit into the dirt pretty hard
Mhm.
if she speeding into the car,
Mhm.
into the water. So there should have been some deep impressed tire marks there,
Mhm.
at least the next morning for them to find, right? Uh, there wasn't anything.
Right.
So personally, for me, I think that there was something that happened. I don't think that her car went in the night of the water, and I don't think it went in any time during the law enforcement's searches. I don't think she was there. Um, I think that her car was being hidden somewhere. I especially going over the autopsy last night, there was obviously no
Yeah.
water logging in her body or anything, so she couldn't have been in the water for that long. So if
Right.
you're looking at it from all of that standpoint, it seems almost as if maybe a tow truck maybe backed itself up and just rolled her car off
Mhm.
into the water, and that's how it impacted and flipped. Um, that's just my opinion. I don't think that it was driven into the water. Unless somebody drove it into the water, opened that window, and swam out, I just don't think it was driven in. I think it was dropped in or rolled in by a tow truck.
And and anybody else, and thank you for telling us that. Like this needs to be a place where we can say what we think, you know?
Mhm.
Like you don't have to agree with what I say or what Miss Slaughter says. But like if you want to share your opinion, put it in the chat because that's kind of why I started this channel is so we could talk in a space and it's okay for you to just share your opinion and no one's gonna come and attack you.
Mhm.
Um, and in the past, Miss Larissa, I would ask like, okay, chat, do you want me to keep this live up or not? Because some people kind of got a little loose in the chat,
Yeah.
said some things, and I just want to make people feel safe, the
Yeah.
best that I can.
Of
But
course. Of course.
but that whole when Shan shared that whole thing that she was sharing the other day, I'm like, damn, dude, like that's another thing I guess to think about because she backs up what she's saying. She's trying to, right?
Yeah.
Um, in my opinion, I think that the car was put in afterwards. Like she actually, like it was put in after the fact. But
Mhm.
I don't know how, obviously. But I cannot wrap my mind around it yet because it doesn't make sense. Nothing, any theory really that I put out there, it doesn't make sense. Because
Yeah.
think of like, you're gonna have like this whole ass like tow truck with this car hooked up to it, just being dunked like a tea bag into the water, and no one's gonna see this when it's a camping spot.
Right. It doesn't make any sense, right? So then that makes you question your own theory that you had. Wait, but somebody could have seen it. But
Hmm.
it's is somebody choosing not to speak on it?
Right.
Was this done in the middle of the night when there wasn't a lot of people there to witness it?
That's a
Um,
loud ass truck.
you know what I mean? Exactly. It's just all really questionable information.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to lie, my theory has changed a bunch of times, but I still think that all theories that I've had could be possible. When I first started my channel, I thought it was a trafficking thing. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way that this is not trafficking. 300 people, 400 people at a party, and this girl goes missing. Just this one girl,
Yeah.
you know, not, a bunch of other teens like are dying. Like, there's no way it was an overdose or something. Like, I just didn't think that. I thought it was trafficking at first. But then I was like, no, there's this girl that's putting herself front and center.
Mhm.
And she's saying that she's the last one to see her and has all this information about this party. She's got to be guilty. But my theory, again, over time, the more that you research and the more that you learn, just changes and changes. So right now, I can't really say that I have a solid theory. I just know that it wasn't an accident.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's kind of like where everyone gets stuck on that it
Yeah.
wasn't an accident. Um, hold on, let me catch up on some of these comments here. I'm lost. I don't even know. I'm so behind. Hi, Miss Cherokee. I don't know if you're here. It's because these are all my peeps, dude. I want to say hi to Miss Mama Smurf. I usually people don't usually volunteer to be on panel with me, so I'm trying to manage both now. See, but you have some balls. That's why I appreciate you being here.
Thanks.
Let's see. SF investigates. No, I got that. I got that. I heard AWP said it was powered off. Said John Elizabeth. My gut is like that. He even watches all the car restoration shows. One of the real ones said, hypothetically speaking, if she went in that night, she would have left the party 5 to 7 minutes before entering the water. Okay. I need to process what you just said. Okay. Oregon Outback says, remember the divers that looked only 25 feet from the shore? They were looking for her phone, not car. What makes you think that, Oregon? Hey, Chaos and Crime. Karim at R, remember that a ping only happens during certain events like data request, calls, text. Right.
Hmm.
Right. And so that's what Sammy's thing was. Sammy was like, I was the last person to speak to her. So, like, think about let's say that everything that we're given from authorities, law enforcement, let's just say that that's all true, that it actually happened that way. So then Kiely was driving and calling Sammy and asking her, hey, do you still need a ride? But if Kiely's driving, think about the direction that she's driving. Is she calling Sammy when she's super drunk and still like managing not to hit any trees to get out of that campsite and just so she would have had to been on the phone when this accident happened or just hung up with Sammy. But then Sammy says that she heard the party in the background on that last call. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah, that's true.
Let's say that last ping happened when Kiely was calling Sammy, because the last thing we know of Kiely now is that she was a thoughtful, caring person. Even though Sammy left her there because she was too drunk to drive her home, Kiely still called Sammy to ask her if she needed a ride. Do you see how Kiely was a better person than everybody in
Hmm.
this situation? So she's giving a shit about her friend while super drunk and drives into the lake. But Sammy's like, no, she's too drunk to. I just left her there. And but either way, I'm sorry, I'm getting heated. But either way, Sammy says she heard the party in the background. How if Kiely was driving already because she drove herself into the lake, right? That
That's
night,
true. She should have been driving when she contacted Sammy. If that was the case, she wouldn't have heard the party in the background.
right? And what party in the background? Because at 12:30 there was a mass exodus, and that is confirmed by AWP when they're making their video, by Marika Beck, who even knows about the strange men that were at this party. Marika Beck had the information. Who was she's Lindsay's best friend. She in our news article says, oh yeah, everybody left at 12:30.
Interesting.
So what the heck happened? She's an adult. She's a teacher at Sierra Community College.
And she knows all this how?
She was told.
So she was told.
Right.
And did she release who told her all of that information, like to the police? Like, was she working with them, or, you know?
Nope. Okay, so oh man, hold on.
Because that bothers me. Like, how do you have all of this, even if it's hearsay? If you're hearing something from somebody and they're telling you details about this party where this little girl went missing and lost her life, you should be taking your tips and everything that you know to the law enforcement.
Right.
Take it to the law enforcement. Don't be, oh, let me go on all of these freaking news outlets and go do something for the news. Let me go do something on YouTube. Let me go do this. Go to the freaking police.
Right. Look, I'm gonna show you. Oops! Don't start my cam. Let's see. This is a video, and I don't. I kind of. I guess I am kind of advertising myself, but I don't know where else to find it as quick as I'm finding it. So this was a video from 5 months ago, and look, this is where it's from. This is where I got that info.
Okay.
Look, 42 years old and is actually best friends with Kiely's mom, and she speaks about this Another Sun article where this Marika Beck person speaks.
So she says, Marika Beck, 42, who is best friends with Kylie's mom, Lindsay, said that the missing teen heard that a lot of older boys had crashed the party and fears the 16-year-old may have been trafficked. We have been told Kiely may have been with one or more older boys, Beck exclusively told the U.S. Sun.
Wow.
This 42-year-old woman knows this? Yeah, it's hearsay.
Yeah, but that's my point, is you're getting information from somewhere. Are you turning those people that are giving you the information in? Like, probably not. You're just more interested in doing an interview for the U.S. Sun. Like,
and why are you inserting yourself, Marika Beck? You know, Marika Beck is that lady when Lindsay's doing that interview, where she's talking about Kiely and cakes and stuff inside that rec center. Marika Beck's the lady right next to her.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's saying this stuff. So she knows. Look, there's more. I just hate the sound of my voice. I don't like listening to it. So I don't like to play the audio, but hold on. Excuse me.
42 years old.
Okay, shut up, Ada. Okay. Yeah, at around 12:30 a.m., these guys showed up and it got kind of weird. A lot of younger teens chose to leave at this time. It was meant, this is still Marika speaking. It was meant to be just teens in the wood. They party there all the time. It's unregulated and it's not a campground. Beck describes the teenage booze-filled event as a, quote, parent's worst nightmare. There is drinking and stuff. It's really unfortunate. It is a parent's worst nightmare and we're just trying to get her home.
So, okay, it's not a campground. If it's not a campground, then why did Sammy assume that she was camping there overnight if it's not a campground?
I'm going to put the link to this video here in the chat for you guys if you want to look at it later. Let's see. What is Ada saying?
Was this the mass exodus that we are hearing about? You remember that Kylie's last phone ping was either 12:30, 12:33. I know it changes, but at 12:30, this Marika Beck says that these guys. I don't know. The timing is interesting.
God, Ada, you're so annoying. Hold on.
But I just wanted to put that out there and ask if you guys have heard that name. But your mind about going to this car show. Did Kate and Mags change your mind, and why?
Kylie's close friend Kate Kuno says they spent the afternoon together on Friday, just hours.
Kiely was doing before this party. We don't have a clear timeline of that, but with these interviews, I think we can piece it together. Here, Kate is about to speak on hanging out with Kiely before the party.
The day of the party, I hung out with her. We made creme brulee. Everything was normal. I don't think she ran away. I would have noticed if something was.
Question that I have, but I feel like if Kate knew that Kiely had changed her plans, she maybe would have said it here, but she says that nothing was weird, everything was normal. So I don't know, just a thought.
Well, to be fully honest, my biggest concern is that somebody, and I've said this in other interviews, somebody knew she was drunk, offered to give her a ride home, and they didn't give her a ride home. And they could be.
So she says, my biggest concern is that someone knew she was drunk and offered to give her a ride home. But then later you say that I heard the party in the background, and she called me to ask me if I needed a ride home.
Jeez. I just want to say this.
Say it.
So I did a video today, and it is proving, because I know that I believe Miss G said that there's no other narrative other than Sam's narrative, and I think that that's partially true. And to prove that is when Angela Mausoleum, I call her Angela Mausoleum.
I saw I saw your video. It was good.
Yeah. So when Angela Mausoleum says, she's going over the photo, right, of the last known photo of Kiely, and she's going through what she's wearing. Oh, green Dickies pants, this and that. But when you go to the first interview that Sammy ever did with Tony Dodge, she says she was not wearing those pants in the photo. She was wearing green Dickies pants. That to me just proves that they followed Sammy's narrative.
What she said. Yep. But in the photo, they're clearly green Dickie pants.
Right.
Like
and
you can tell by the belt loop. You know, if you've owned Dickie pants, just looking at them, you know they're Dickie pants.
Right. That's what I'm saying doesn't make sense. Like, what did she do? She was wearing this on her way to the party, and then she just randomly changed into a pair of pants she just had hanging out in her car. Like, make it make sense.
Correct. Kareem says, Larissa, I also wonder if Sammy saw Kiely at all. That's nice. So Kareem agrees with you. And just to add to that, I believe that they hung out a little bit, but it was just for the fight and a little bit after the fight. I think that Sammy kind of instigated Kiely to get into a fight, because remember in her statement she says she's a fighter. And other people are saying she doesn't back down, and so she's a strong girl. And again, I'm just assuming if Kiely was confronted or like wanted a play fight, she would probably do it. I mean, that's just me assuming.
I don't think that Kiely would have thought that anybody had ill intentions with her, though.
Yeah.
I feel like she would have genuinely thought that it was just a play fight. She was just messing around, but it really wasn't that way to the person that was fighting her.
Yeah. Because this person who is not really her friend, because we haven't really seen any pictures of them together.
Not at all.
Ever. It's like Sammy, when she was and then every news broadcast that was showing Kiely, it would say like on the top left, it would say Sammy Smith. Like Sammy Smith gave these photos. But if they were real friends, Sammy Smith would have given photos with them together maybe, or times that she was hanging out with Kiely. But no, not even at the party. It's like pictures that Jagger took.
Yes, everybody else has photos of themselves with Kiely, except for Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
It is weird. And then I try to be observant, right, of other people and their opinions and their channels or whatever. And it's like you're dragging this girl down. It's like, not really. She kind of dug this grave already on her own. And technically she was an adult when she did these interviews and when she was at this party.
Yes.
So really, we're just kind of talking about something that someone said, and they inserted themselves. They were like the head of everything. So I did feel bad at the beginning, but not really anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to be the ambassador of this.
You put yourself in the spotlight. You wanted to be in the spotlight. Like, in my opinion, when you put yourself into a situation, it's because you want all eyes on you. When you have all eyes on you, you can't be mad that all eyes are on you now because you did it to yourself.
Correct. See, Kate didn't go to the party, says Oregon. How are you sure about that? I lucked out. She's thank you for being here, Rosie. I don't know why it's not showing up, but my channel is difficult to find because I don't know. It just is. It sucks, but it's okay. The fact that you're here is all that matters. How long the reservation? What do you mean, John? Driftaway says, I didn't party, so I wouldn't have, not even for graduation. One of the real ones says, John Courtney, 5 to 7 minute drive to the lake. So think about that. 5 to 7 minutes. Last call. If everyone left at 12:30, does she leave at 12:30? The car, according to the fire cam footage, which I have issues with, but that'll probably be another day we talk about that. 12:36, 12:35. When did the car? What time did it go in? Drift away. I grew up around bars, drinking and drunks, and did not appeal to me. Well, you're better than most of us. Drift away. Paper Song says, I thought it was camping with family and her friend. Not the family.
It was, I believe, just supposed to be a trip with the friends.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Princess. I'm sorry I'm confusing you. I'm so behind in the chat. I'm sorry. Hold on, but it matters. I want to see what you guys says. Heather says, but that account of the girlfriend sounds off because Nick didn't say he called his girlfriend about how weird the encounter was. How could girlfriend have video of it?
Girlfriend did not have video of it. Okay, to clarify that.
Mm-hmm.
I will actually send you, Aura, that live stream, and you can
Yeah.
look at it for yourself. And if you want to play it eventually, then you can.
Mm-hmm.
But towards the very end of that AWP uncut footage interview with Nick, they were telling him, like, Doug looks over at the girlfriend and says, can you confirm that? Because he
Mm-hmm.
said, yeah, after the encounter, I called my girlfriend because it was weird. And she has a call, I believe, on her call log from right after that encounter in the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe that text messages or something follow that. She shows the phone to AWP and they say, oh, okay, it's legit. Like, so yeah, just to clear that up, she doesn't have video of it. And I don't think Nick has seen the video of it, but he had an encounter and he called his girlfriend and said, hey, this encounter was really freaking weird.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they confirmed it and thought he was legit.
Yeah, and I can't recall that part of the interview, so thank you for that. We will watch it here. Just send me the link.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Kareem, let's see me catch up in chat here real quick. Drift away. Oh my god, that would explain how it was flipped with the trunk close to the shore. Oh, like them dumping it like a tea bag, like that. I want to know if the car was in drive or neutral. But with that, see, that question hasn't been really answered. And then when Nick was questioned about it, I forgot which panel, he said that he wasn't really looking at that. And when you look at Nick's footage, like when he's looking at the car, you really can't see. It's so murky. The only people that would know that are the people. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on. Okay, I remember this. When they were pulling the car out of the lake, there was a man that was steering the car. Can you not steer a car when it's off unless it's in neutral? Because he was moving the tires so it would navigate out of the water in a straight line to get to the tow truck. But he was moving the steering wheel. So can you move a car that shut off? Let's say it's in drive. Let's assume, you car people, something to think about. If their car was in drive, in the the drive setting, goes into the water, can you move it to neutral without pressing on the brake? Because I didn't see anybody push on the brake or anything like that to move the steering wheel. I need to go back and look at that. Let me know if you want to see that with me right now. But what I do remember seeing, because I was looking at it last night, and don't judge me because I do research this. I spent too much time on this. So yeah, pick on me later. Either way. So the guy was moving the steering wheel to straighten out the tires, and the wheels were moving. Right? So can you do that? If it's in any other like position other than neutral? Okay, so people are telling me yes. And if I sound dumb, well, fine. But I want to know.
I do have my uncle's actually a very experienced mechanic, so I can reach out to him and I can ask him that and give you that information.
Hold on, I think people in the chat kind of are answering that for me. I never claim to know anything more than I do know, so that's why I like to ask. That car did go in an accident that night of the party. There had to be evidence of it going into the water and why they didn't stay and search. Yeah. Outback says that would be interesting to know. It would flip over differently if backed in, wouldn't it? If the car was backed in, then it would flip. Think about the car backing into the water and then it would naturally like tip over, right? And land the way that it was found. But we don't know what way it was in the water. Like we don't have the.
No, like,
It could have been sideways for all we know.
right.
Unless someone's really good with maps and like kind of detailing that, because I mean AWP shows Nick going in the water, so you have an idea of where they are compared to the shore, and so you would really have to analyze Nick going into the water and seeing what he saw and kind of have a perspective of the way the car was positioned. Wasn't Prosser shut down for camping for a period of time? It wasn't. It was never shut down. What do you, Larissa? Correct me if I'm wrong, but they never actually shut down the campground.
I have a clip of Sam Brown saying that he closed off areas of interest were closed off, meaning Prosser. But he said it very subtly in one interview that I've seen, and I can send you that as well.
Do it with the receipts. I like it. Shane, hi, Shane. Rumple, oh shit, aerial view in the curse video. Look at how small that car is. I will check it out. Hi, Susan. IRA, you need to look at the spirit sessions done by Afterlife Adventures. Dude, spirit box stuff is scary though, but I will watch it. But
dude, that stuff is scary. Yes, I agree. That stuff kind of freaks me out a little bit.
You're opening like a little door there. Drift away, a designated driver would happen to be wasted and all alone. Yes, and so from what I think, from what I've read, and even Sammy said she was supposed to be the designated driver. Call me naive, but highly unlikely to put on tow truck.
It's a little bit weird to me that Sammy in an article says that she was planning to get drunk and the designated driver thing was just a cover. But so, yeah, if you're planning to get drunk, why are you going to drive your car? Why wouldn't you carpool with somebody else?
I mean, Kiely was one of the few people that took a car. Sammy didn't even take her car.
Right. So why wouldn't you have carpooled with some? That's just me. Like, if you know that you're planning to get drunk at a party, in her words, get fucked up. Sorry for the language, but that was her words. If she's planning to do that, don't you think that as smart as she was, she would have carpooled with somebody?
Yeah, and I mean, think about it. I don't have children, but a lot of you, most of you have children. Think about it. Like, you know your child. And I mean, like, I don't know. I just feel like Kiely had a lot of trust from her family because she lived, like, that was her backyard. She was driving snowmobiles. She was skiing. She was like, outdoors was like her other room. And so imagine if Kiely was your child. Like, to me, it seems unlikely that this happened to her in this way. And by the way, out of 300, 400 people, everybody else was safe except her. Like, nothing else happened to anybody else. And, and a lot of people were drinking. They were drugging, right? As you can hear. But Kiely was the only thing. Kylie's situation was the only accident. Everybody else got home safe, drove probably on the freeway, and they were probably doing worse things than she was. And she ended up in the lake. Sorry, honey. That's weird. Now, let's say 4 people had an accident from that party. Everybody was careful because they want to keep this place quiet. Now, my opinion's coming out. They want to keep this party place a secret because this is like their sanctuary. The sanctuary, the name alone, should tell you the purpose of this site. This place needs to be a secret. That's why they just shove it under the rug. Freaking officers go there and dance. You've seen the Snapchat videos, right? Of officers dancing at the campground.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. Now I'm getting ridiculous. Okay, sorry. But come on.
It's okay to do that. Like, it's okay to express your opinions because it does. Whatever you're feeling and whatever's built up is your frustrations with the case because of all the discrepancies in it. So when you let it out and you're giving your opinion, it gives people a different look at things. And I think you're completely right. They did sweep it under the rug because this is their sanctuary. This is their safe space where they go to do their thing away from their parents and they go to party. And it's not even away from the parents because I'm sure a lot of the kids have law enforcement family and they're joining their kids at these parties. I'm pretty sure.
Or they're just allowing it. They're saying, because we feel safe. We feel, God, like it's their territory.
They feel safe in their community.
It's their territory.
Yes.
So when people come in that don't belong there, everybody notices. Tammy said there were people from that from other places that weren't supposed to be there. She knows that because she probably talked to them. She's like, there are people from Nevada, or like there are people from Reno, or like, how do you know? You
She
probably
does
went,
say that she talked to a kid from Sacramento. I do remember that.
yes. Sounds like a party host to me.
Mm-hmm.
A fight night.
Sure does.
There's someone, a parent from Truckee that says, yeah, they have fight night, friendly fights. It's a thing, guys. It's really a thing. And that needs to be a secret. It has to be a secret. But I want to know if people are partying there now.
Right. Like, what is going on now? It's
Yeah.
weird. Also, have you ever been to a party? Because I'm sure you've gone to parties. I haven't partied a lot. I like to do the solo thing. But in big party settings, like, I've only heard of people getting in fights when there's actual beef, not a play fight for entertainment. Like, who does that?
I mean, no, I've never come across, but I'm in Texas. So we're different here. If you get in a fight, someone's going to pull a gun at some point.
Yeah, it's like that here in California as well. I live in California as well. I don't live near Truckee or anything like that, but in my experiences, I have seen people at parties get super messed up and fight because there was an issue, because somebody was being too drunk and sloppy, or there was a cheating thing going on, or somebody ran into somebody that they had beef with, and then yes, the guns do come out. I know that there was a house party not too far from where I live that 3 people died.
Oh shit.
And got shot. Yeah, not too far from where I live. And the shooters all went on the freaking run, and it took them like a week to find them. So yeah, that shit happens at parties. But I've never heard anything of play fights for entertainment at parties. Like,
I've never heard that, unless it's Fight Club.
Right.
When I first heard about this case, it was like my birthday, August 11th or something. I'm listening to all these like news shit and everything, and then we were like, dude, they were having a Fight Club. That's Fight Club. What's the first rule of Fight Club?
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Well, what the fuck is a friendly fight? Like, and who drives around with boxing gloves? Like, just cuz?
Right. Like, that's weird. It's weird to me.
I mean, hey, look, we have a lot of people in chat. Maybe they're from places where, yeah, we go hang out in the woods and we just like fucking fight. Okay, if that's a normal thing, you tell me, right? Because like we're all geographically, we're spread out here. So put in the chat, tell me, is this normal? But you're gonna tell me no one's gonna walk out with a concussion or a black eye, even and in a friend life fight, what? Oh my god, like this is so fun, just punch me in the face. But like, or like, just don't punch me in the face, but punch me. What the fuck is someone's gonna get hurt?
Okay, now I do know that when I was in middle school that we used to do this thing called going bodies. I don't know if you've heard of that term, but where you wouldn't hit people in the face, you would only go hit people in the bodies, and people would just set up fights with each other. So I guess I can see that if they're, like, let's go bodies real quick. Like, I can see that because I know that was a thing when I was in middle school. Like, I think that I've even done it where I've been like, oh, like some girl was like, let's go bodies. I was just like, okay. And we went behind the gym and we fought each other, but we hit each other in the bodies, not in the face. You know what I mean? And everybody would circle around, and then somebody would be on watch out, so the supervisors wouldn't come and get us. So yeah, there is some stuff that happens like that. So I guess I guess I have heard.
Well, there you go. Then good. Thank you for saying that. Okay, if it's a thing, because I don't know, Texas people don't fuck like that. We don't fuck around like that. But okay, if it's a thing, dude, I would be like, nah, I'm good. But if that's a thing, then is it not plausible that someone just like fell on the ground and hit their head, possibly, and
yes, and that's very likely. It takes something so small. Say that there's a rock behind somebody or a freaking pebble at that, and you get hit, right? You don't even have to get hit in the face. You can get hit in the body, but that hit to the body was so impactful that you slid on that rock, or you tripped and fell back on that rock, and you smacked the back of your head on the floor. Yeah. Like, you could have neck damage, you can have, brain
Yeah.
damage depending on how hard you hit. So yes, any situation of fighting, yes, that can happen.
Well, yeah, and so when I had this conversation with with the woman that's from there, I asked that specific question. I was like, could that have happened? And they replied with, well, they make sure that they move everything out of the way, like rocks and stuff, so that doesn't happen. So this is something that they're aware of, these kids. Like, okay, let's clear it out so if they fall to the ground, they don't hit their head on a rock or a stump or something. So I just want to put it out there that it is very possible that, and this is kind of where my opinion, you're going to hear I always circle back to this, that Kiely was in a fight with Sammy. This was a fight.
Mhm.
Kiely got knocked out, but she didn't wake up again. And they probably thought she died, right? Because they're kids and they're drunk and high or whatever. And then they're like, oh shit. And they didn't want to get in trouble. So they put her in the car, in the back seat, and then just let that car go into the water.
Yeah.
Like this could have been prevented if these kids did the right thing and just called 911. They're like, oh no, oh, she's not waking up. Oh my God. And then they're like, oh shit, what do we do? Like, we're not going to call 911 because look at everything that's happening. So that at 12:30 or right before 12:30, this fight happened. And then Kiely was knocked out because Sammy's bigger than Kiely. Sammy's stronger. She's been to these parties. I think she's a host.
Mm-hmm.
And Kiely was just knocked out. And then it was just like, oh shit. And everybody left. And when everybody left, they put Kiely in the car and they just let it go in the water. And they're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
That's how I think that night happened.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. That's definitely something that I thought of. But my mind still goes back to, okay, did LE miss her car intentionally in the water when they were searching for her? Because if they did just let it go into the water that night or whatever, because they freaked out, or any night before she was found, law enforcement should have found her, right? Because she was in the water. Right. So is law enforcement covering it up? And did they miss her intentionally? Or was she put in after the fact?
See, and so that is where I have issues. Like, I have trouble with that because this fire cam footage, it's not possible that SF, or actually it was Chris T first, October the 4th. And I'm hoping that Shan makes a video out of what I gave her. I'm waiting for it, Miss Shan, if you're still listening. Because she will probably present it in a much more entertaining way that I can, because I'm really boring to listen to.
Yeah, but, me too.
No, literally. But I'm okay with it. But either way, Christy put it out and then SF put it out. But it's like, dude, these authorities, they would have had to know. They would have had to know, like, about this camera pointed at the fucking lake.
Right.
Come on.
How did they not check it?
Like, no mames. Yeah, no mames, dude. You know it's there. Because how is this guy that, like, plays, like, play cop, puts it out there? And you're okay with it, too. Law enforcement was okay with it?
And they don't confirm or deny that it's actual proof that she went in the night of the party. Like, how can you sit there and not confirm or deny that?
Yeah. Hold on. Someone's saying, I know I am neglecting chat. Sorry. It happens when you have an interesting guest. We vibe, okay? Me and her are vibing. Let it happen. Okay. I feel like anything Sammy says is about as reliable. Okay, so I'm so behind. Give me a second here. I feel like who. Oh, dude, you guys know Wolf on Wall Street? Rumble here, your comment. Like, when Leonardo DiCaprio is like, who's what is it? Who's Venice? Who's Venice? And he goes, like, because he's dreaming about the Venice girl that he's cheating on his wife with. Mm-hmm. And then so the girl's like, who's Venice? And he goes, Venice? What? Oh my God. Oh, I'm investing in Venice. Oh, you're investing? Like, because Leonardo was like, who? She's like, what are you, a fucking owl? Like, and it's such a good clip. I have to show it to you at some point. Have you seen Wolf on Wall Street?
I've watched it briefly. I haven't seen the whole thing. It sucks.
Dude, it's bad. Don't watch it.
Because I know it's
Don't
a good.
watch it.
I know it's a
It's
good
so
movie. I know
good.
it's a good movie. I always catch the tail end of it. I never see like the full movie.
But she's like, "Who's Venice?" Like, or she goes, "Who? And she goes, "What are you, a fucking owl?" And I lost it.
I'm sorry, but my family says that all the time. I'll be asking a question. I'll be like, "Who? Who are you talking about? Like, who? What?" And then they'll be like, "What are you, an owl?" Like,
I love it. I love
a
it.
thing.
I love it. Okay, so Ellie didn't say that. Ellie didn't say what? I'm behind the chat, so sorry. Drift away. They took the tips and led to Ellie to believe it might have been an abduction. The only reason, and I've at this point have seen every statement there is from anyone. It was everybody thought she was abducted. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Sammy says, "I think she was abducted." Even law enforcement said they thought it was an abduction case.
Lindsay's best friend said it was. She thought it was trafficking.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm skipping something. Hi, Anna. I think Sammy fought her and hurt her. They took her car away in the car. I think she was passed. I don't think there was a party. They made up the story. But look, law enforcement said they had hundreds of videos. I think there was a party. But I think the events of the last tail bit of the party, because Sammy's story makes sense until where she talks about charging the phone and calling mom or texting mom. Miss Divine, hey Miss G, no one gets abducted in their own car and no one saw her leave. Well, Sammy says someone knew she was drunk and offered to take her home. Okay, so then they were gonna drive her car to her house, and then what? Were they gonna walk home? Sammy, is that your logic? Your 18-year-old logic?
I don't know. Sammy's something else. Sammy just, I don't know with her.
And I'm not trying to, the last thing I want to do is like hate on people, shame on people. That's like, I think that's a fault that I have. Maybe, I don't know, but I was bullied a lot growing up, so like I'm very careful, dude. I was like, you know how in movies you see bullies like hit people's books and then fall to the ground.
Yeah, I was one of those.
Were you the bully or the kid that got the books?
I was the kid that got bullied. I was the kid that had to do people's homework or else I would get beat up. Yes, I was that kid.
Oh no, I didn't do people's homework, but
yeah, I did.
I lived in Louisiana. It's my 6th grade year, and I lived in a place because my parents are immigrants. They weren't citizens or whatever. But so anyway, that's not important. What's important is, so I lived in a place where like being brown was not okay. So I'm a brown Mexican or American, whatever. So people like I lived in Sulphur, Louisiana, and I went to a school where everybody was like, light skinned, white. Nobody knew Spanish or whatever. So I got picked on a lot just because of that, just because of the way I looked. Another girl came in, also Mexican. And then in the locker room, right? Because in 6th grade, you take like gym still.
Yeah.
And then in the locker room, they're like, "Oh my God, we have 2 Mexicans talk to each other in Spanish, like entertain us." Like that was, and they were like, "Why are your hairs black? Ours are not black." Like, "Oh, maybe you need to shave." Like it was bad. Whatever. So I'm like, I'm traumatized. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm trying. So I'm not trying to bash on this girl. I'm just talking.
I do want to answer Gosling's question though. So has Sammy surfaced? She says, Sammy has definitely surfaced. I know exactly where Sammy's at and I know exactly what Sammy's been up to.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
She's having a good life. Good for her.
Yeah.
She's happy. She probably talks about this situation a lot. She probably shares videos of her interview probably.
Oh, God, I wonder that. I wonder if she hides it from people or if she talks about it with people. I wonder that a lot. I wonder if she just wanted to go to school and go to college and just sweep this all under the rug and leave it behind. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, okay, again, I'm just assuming now. If I had a best friend that I lost, I would probably. I would talk about them for more, like miss you, Kiely, or whatever. It just seems she's just so like removed from it.
Right.
But I don't want to go into. Okay,
But
hold
people
on.
they grieve differently. So, I mean,
True.
maybe she bottles it in.
Yeah. Look, check it out. So.
Across the world at this point, with how long somebody knew she was drunk, offered to give her a ride home, and they didn't give her a ride home. And they could be across the world at this point with how long she's been gone. And
Now, this is an excerpt from Marika Beck's interview with The Sun. The highlighted part, this is what triggered, I guess, it with what Sammy says here. Uh, the bottom paragraph reads, "We're really concerned she's been taken out of state, potentially trafficked, and heading to the border. So if we can get to the borders if we can get the borders, actively locked down and patrolled for every effing car that goes through there, it's very likely she's still in the car because they haven't found it." And remember, this is Lindsay's best friend who's speaking. So it's just interesting. What do you think?
I'm worried that I have a feeling, and obviously, I don't know. I have a feeling that she is still alive and she's still out there and she's still fighting, but that there's somebody else involved, and that's not confirmed. That's just what I believe. I think there has to be somebody else involved in this.
And it may be nothing.
There has to be somebody else involved in this.
It seems like she knows that there's somebody else involved in this, if you ask me.
Because she's 18. I know the video right now says phone ping and all that. We kind of like went away from that. I'll go back to it. But I don't know. I should change the title of this stupid video. What the hell am I doing right now? All right. So, but yeah, so that, somebody else involved. Looking at the chat. Sorry, hold on. If you see anything in the chat that you want to address, go for it. Okay. I don't think I've ever had this many people in the chat and people watching. So,
oh wow,
I don't know what to do with my life right now. But let's keep on. You grew up in burn your bra age, and take a toke of magic smoke and blow your burn your bra. Interesting. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of money you wasted though. I get you. We fought to get suspended, but didn't hit each other in the face, says Bobby. But never fake fights.
Yeah, so it's similar.
Suspended? What were you saying, Miss Slaughter?
That's similar to what I was saying, is that we would hit each other in the bodies, not in the face. And yeah, some of us would get suspended. I never got suspended. I actually got beat up pretty bad, but she was a really big girl who I did it with. But yeah.
Are you serious? So like later people do that?
Yeah. So there was a really, really big girl. What? Actually, she was one of the girls that was bullying me at the time and making me do her homework. She was real. See, back in the day, I was like 80 something pounds. In middle school, I was like not even 80 pounds, if that. And I'm only 5'2" now, and I only weigh like 115 right now. So I was really small back then. And this girl was maybe pushing 100 pounds or so already, and she was like 5'7", dude. Kid you not, she was big. And yeah, I went bodies with her, as they would call it, and she beat me up pretty bad.
Well, it's because you don't give it. You don't give a shit. You're like, let's go.
Yeah, I really don't. Yeah,
you're tough.
Even if I lose, I'll lose victoriously, because I know that I didn't back down from it. You know.
Yeah. Shit. Damn, dude, that's hardcore. Damn.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how Kiely was too. Like, she was just like down for it. Like, hey, like if I lose, then at least I did it. You know.
Damn, dude. I love that.
Thanks.
Melissa said, "Good. I don't believe this is a thing in Truckee. I asked a few teens some time ago when I asked if they saw Kiely at the party. They paused and said no. It can happen, but it's not normal. Why would they pause? Of course they're gonna say no. Who is gonna admit anything? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, yeah, maybe they're honest teenagers.
Scrum on Fire says, I'm going to listen and drift off. Please keep this live up so I can replay crew in the AM. Such go info ER info. Okay, fine. I'll leave it up. But if I don't get mad at me. Susan Hunter says, I would be scared to go into the woods in my backyard. I would be afraid of what's back there. Okay, you, Susan and I are spirit animals. Me too. We love you too. Goslin says, Manuka honey and apple cider vinegar should fix me up. Damn, y'all are hardcore. Okay, if you're like fighting for fun, I don't know. You silly people. How did Ellie miss the car? Yeah. I will. Oh, thank you, Shan. I'm behind the chat. Hold on. Chain of command, adjust the info and tips to the narrative. Anna Bean says, I agree with you, R, except I think the car was put in the water later. The car was hidden with her in it. But see, if we do that, think about how many people are involved in something like that.
Could that be the reason why there was so many sightings of it after the fact?
But a Honda CRV it's a common car.
It is a common car, yes.
There's two here where I live, and it sucks because every time I go out and walk my dog, I see them and I just think Kiely.
Yeah.
And then I want to go knock on their door and be like, can I see the inside? It's like literally the exact model. Like, can you open the trunk?
Right, dude, I would totally freaking ask that.
I want to, but I would look like a fucking weirdo, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I would ask. I would be like, is there like, look at, I do, just be like, hey, like I do this, like I'm just curious about this, like just explain to them what you do and what you're covering, and say that you just want to check it out if you can really quick. Like if people are nice, not all people are evil. People are nice and they'll probably be like, oh, okay. Yeah. But they might think you're a little bit weird, probably a little bit.
Yeah. Miss Larissa, are you comfortable with kind of holding down the fort? I need to pee.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Check the chat out.
I'll read what I can. I can't go super far up, but
you're good.
Okay.
I just need to do this, otherwise I'm gonna die.
Yeah, go potty.
Right. Okay, be right back. Thank you.
Turquoise says, way more fun than these drugs nowadays. Yeah, drugs these days are very dangerous. Most of them are laced with fentanyl. It is very scary. I know that a lot of stuff has gone into high schools and things like that, and there's a real big problem with drugs on the streets right now. Paper Song says, yeah, I am not really happy about where Sammy is and how they are portraying them young ladies. Yeah, I mean, if you know where Sammy is and everything like that, it's definitely a big party place, so she's definitely still out there raging. And I don't think that I would be releasing info on where she is currently. But if you can sleuth it out and find it, then you can sleuth it out and find it. It's really not hard. All you got to do is look her up on Instagram. Melissa says, they paused because I think that they had not heard of these fights except maybe what happened with Kiely. That could be true. That definitely could be true. I know for certain that I have actually talked to somebody who has spoken with somebody who supposedly seen Kiely at the party. I have yet to release that information. I do have the information on all of that. I just have yet to release it, and I probably will be doing that soon.
Let's see. I'm back. Thank you.
Okay.
Ah, you're awesome. See, the thing with, and I don't want to make this whole like a Sammy live thing because we could go into a rabbit hole forever, dude.
Dude, yeah, we've been talking forever right here.
Yeah, but just be careful, I guess, when you want to do stuff like that, because
all okay. How do I say it? You're not, it's kind of almost a dead end. Like you're gonna find her on Instagram, but it's private. So what are your intentions at this? You know what I mean? Like I think the
And
best I think the
I'll let
best
you
way to
guys.
go around it is just to kind of just to put out facts, you know, and then the people with conscious the louder voice if we can make our voice loud like this army, if we can be loud, at some point somebody's going to say something and they're going to rat themselves out,
Yes.
you know. But so just something to think about.
Yeah, and just know that even if you were to look at it, there's nothing really to see other than she's just living a normal life right now in college. Like it's really nothing to see if you do go look at it. It's not worth putting out to the whole world, oh, she's here.
Yeah,
It's really, there's no point in it. But again, if your curiosity is there and you want to go look at it, I mean, for you, yes, but
yes,
there's no reason to put it out. Like that's why I haven't put out the information,
because it's
because
unnecessary.
it is definitely unnecessary. She's just being a normal college
And
person right now.
essentially it could be dangerous because if you have
Yes.
someone, if you're putting stuff out like that and like let's say someone's unstable or they cannot handle their emotions, like there are some crazy people that will try to hurt other people, or you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
So you don't want to be responsible for something like that either. But again, you're allowed to do your own research and see it, you know. So just something I wanted to say out there. Thank you, Goslin, for the super chat. Okay, so where are we getting at? Let me finish this thing.
Could be something, but she says there may be someone else involved in this. Already did something, but then she adds on
and I'm like, don't, I'm not talking about Sammy, but here I am finishing this stupid video. But we're talking about the details, right? And the phone ping.
Yes.
Just focus upon the phone ping. Actually, there's the video that I made. Let's see here. If someone can redrop Larissa's link, please do so. This is the phone ping, and this is where the officers talk about the phone ping.
Actually, it should be for Kiely.
Fortunate that we had the assistance of a volunteer group, the Adventures with Purpose, that came out with some very specific expertise and were able to help us in locating the vehicle that we had been searching for several weeks.
About this video, I just want you to pay attention to the facts about the ping. The ping was used by law enforcement to search a specific area, but she wasn't found. Later on in this video, I will play a news clip, KCRA
pinged in the area of Prosser Lake.
Prosser County uses.
And her phone had actually pinged in the area of Prosser Lake, and that is where her SUV sadly was found. Sheriff's officials had actually searched the same area previously and not found anything.
And the reporter asked if they can confirm her phone, Kiely's phone, her last ping was near the water. And just something interesting as a side note, she didn't even try to answer that question. She just confirm her
and not found anything.
And the reporter asked if they can confirm her phone, Kiely's phone, her last ping was near the water.
Did you see that? Did you see her face when they asked that?
Ping was near the water.
It's like she looked back at them for like some type of permission to speak or something, like can I talk about that?
No, it's just like to me that face is like I'm not fucking talking about this, because it's like sensitive topic.
It definitely is. It's just weird that it pinged right at the water's edge. Like what? It's like it's not, you know how like in the movies, like you get the job done, like say they sent the car off and they got the job done, and their final thing was to just turn off the phone and go throw that shit somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
it just makes me feel like it gives me like a fucking horror movie vibe.
Literally. But look, y'all need to see this. Like, look. Should I slow it down? Let's slow it down. Please, someone drop Larissa's link. Miss Slaughter. I can't do it right now, but she deserves.
I can't drop it either.
Oh yeah, I haven't made you a mod. It's okay. Hold on, I'll do it in a second. Playback speed. I just want to do it slow so you can see her face. Like,
Kylie's phone ping was near the water.
Mm-hmm.
Kylie
once the lady's talking about it.
Found anything.
And nobody blinks either, like, because it's reporters asking this question. They're not talking about the phone ping. The only reason that they talk about the phone ping is because they were asked.
Yeah.
And the reporter asked if they can confirm her phone, Kylie's phone, her last ping was near the water.
And this guy's like, not answering that. And these two look at each other like, oh shit. And they're like, well, who's gonna take this one? See that? This was right after they asked that question. Look at that. I'm a big believer in body language and everything. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I yeah. I mean, I look at people's body languages, but I'm not really huge on the body languages. I'm more into what are you saying?
Right.
Let me hear what you say. And I think that it's good though, because you get, if you're into body language and I'm into what they're saying, you know, like it does create a good team when you dissect things.
Absolutely. So check it out.
And just something.
And so who agreed that he was going to answer it? Look. Because Angela looks at this guy. What's his name? Right? I don't care what his name is. And then he's like, ah, shit, I have to answer this. Sam Brown, right? Who was somebody that is in that incident report that we were reading the other day.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's like, nah, I'm good. Fuck that. And this guy's like, nope. Like,
ping was near the water. And just something interesting as a side note, she didn't even try to answer that question. She just looks back and there's a silence, and it's basically like, who's
look at this guy. I wonder what he's thinking. Isn't this the guy that y'all were talking about the other day?
I believe his name is Eric. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I wonder what he's like. Oh shit. I don't know. I'm just looking at body language. That's it. I'm not the all saying.
I mean, the bald guy at the end, his facial expressions look like he's comfortable to me. I mean, maybe he's an innocent police officer in all of this, but yeah, that one guy, he looks kind of pressed.
Okay, and if you guys want to come at me because I'm looking at this moment, well then, how do you know that your kids are lying? You know people. You could come on, let us do it. Okay, look, so
answer that question. She just something in.
This guy doesn't look at anybody. He doesn't look at anybody. He just looks at her. This guy looks over at somebody else. Sam Brown is like, okay, I gotta answer this, but everyone is very like everyone is like face forward, still face
water.
He looks terrified.
And just something interesting as a side note, she didn't even try to answer that question. She just looks back and there's a silence, and it's basically like, who's going to answer this one? Because this topic is controversial for some reason, or there's just something, there's a lot they can't say about it, but that's just what it seems like to me.
Yeah, the ping for the data points and everything were near the water.
And usually the first answer is more than likely the honest one and the correct one. The longer someone speaks, the more they start to cloud the truth or realize they said something they shouldn't. So then they try to change the facts.
It's hard to tell an exact pinpoint or anything like that, but just as much on land as it was on water.
See how the answer changed? First of it was certainly near the water. Now it's as much on or in water as on land. That doesn't even make sense. Well, to me at least.
That's what I was told, is that it was near the water and searches took place near that vicinity. Are those going to continue?
Yeah.
What do you think, Ms. Larissa? I know you're thinking some stuff right now.
Well, my first question is, I'm trying to, because I know I've been watching all of these pressers all over again, just like the past couple days. I'm trying to remember what date this one was from, because that would give more of an explanation as to why they didn't want to answer it. Because if it was during the searches where they were already searching Prosser, it could have been a possibility they didn't want to answer because they hadn't found her in Prosser yet. You know what I mean? And that's why it was such a difficult thing to answer.
This was early, wasn't it? Like the 11th?
I feel like it was the 11th. I want to say it was the 11th or the 13th.
I can find it real quick.
I know it's on Placer County's.
Yes.
YouTube.
This is from August the 15th.
See, yeah. Okay. So, and when did they stop searching? It was this. 15th. They stopped searching Prosser, right?
Yeah, it was the 15th when they scaled back.
So yes,
it was this day.
So when they scaled back, so exactly what I'm saying. So they hadn't found her at all, and they were already days into the search at Prosser, and her phone pinged there. So people are wondering why they haven't found her if her phone was last pinged there. So that's probably why they were uncomfortable with answering it and gave such a weird answer for it.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm going back to that video. This one, right? It was this one? Yeah. It was this one. Hold on. Guess she's not wearing that purple dress, right? So it wasn't that one. Oh, wait. Sam Brown is in a t-shirt, so it's not that one. It's this one. She's in a t-shirt.
Business kept employees on.
So this one is from August the 13th. Actually, I misspoke.
Okay.
The presser that we're speaking on is from the 13th, and they scaled back 2 days later.
They had already been searching that lake or that reservoir pretty good, though. They had already put a lot of hours into that. So I feel the same way. Like whether it was the 13th or the 15th, like, you know, I feel like that's still why they had a hard time with it.
So and sometimes, dude, I can't help it but look at these comments.
Oh, I have to. I look at everybody's comments and everything.
Yeah. It's like for some reason that lady rubs me the wrong, because the army isn't just people that hang out at these lives. Like the army exists just from. There is an army, and they're just regular people that are watching this and just commenting, right? So this person, for some reason, that lady rubs me the wrong way, and the officer that comes up and speaks right after her look guilty as shit, and he doesn't look like he's trustworthy at all, and that's my opinion, as well as this no accident. And all you truckie folk know this was no accident, and I wholeheartedly believe your town needs to be investigated, as well as Kiely's parents and all the children that were there at the party that night, along with adults. And for you guys to let this teen run a shit show is obviously absurd and unprofessional. 4 weeks ago, when I don't know who this person, I've never seen this person in any of our lives. These are people that just are seeing this outside of our quote unquote community. How strange that she was apparently there all along and Ellie didn't find her, even with sonar. You closed off the boat ramp for a cover-up? What? 6 months ago? Sammy did it. Someone says she's hot AF. Great.
Wow.
This is an embarrassing press conference. Yeah. Mr. Brown said that all the lakes nearby have been searched through and she's not in those lakes. You keep telling us how many man hours and millions of taxpayer money got flooded in the operation, only to have 2 people with a rubber boat and sonar find her within hours. I love people.
It's all facts, dude. It's serious fact. Like, it's all facts. Like, it's factual. Like, they're calling them out for what it is, what everybody is seeing.
Yeah. 816, speak up. Someone knows what happened. This is from, 8 months ago. They always do. So how long will it take for you to come forward? I hope all those wonderful people searching find Kiely and bring her home. I'd like to wonder why nobody's investigating Sammy 8 months ago. I would like to know why they haven't investigated her and the man that she left with. This was a setup, and that same girl is not her friend. Sadly, unless you guys push on her, she's never going to tell you that little girl has a sadistic side. No one's over here like speaking any other way other than what we feel.
Yeah.
We're not alone. And these people are not, I don't care if you call it Squirrel Squad, Turtle Squad, whatever squad. It's not about a fucking squad, dude. It's about, it doesn't look right.
Nope.
Justin Daniels, I don't know who the hell that is. I don't believe her friends. Something don't make sense. If you watch these stories, don't add up. These people are, they have brains and they're seeing what we see. And then say, okay, check the cliffs. Maybe she took a wrong turn. Clearly no cliffs, but she's in her car. She's coming through to me constantly. This person apparently is clairvoyant. It was stated she was intoxicated. Car is missing. Every body of water needs to be done immediately. 5 to 10 mile radius. She's in the water. The key is sonar. So, I'm sorry. If a stranger took her, how would they know she had a curfew and then call and ask to extend it? Oh, good point, Vicky. Whoever you are. If a stranger took her, how would they know she had a curfew and call?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, dude. People are fucking smart, dude.
Yeah.
A stranger would not know to call her mom and ask this. Whoever it was knew she had a curfew. With all the people at that place, more than one person definitely knows something. Also, her friends that decided to look around for another ride should have made sure she got home safe. So, look, we're not alone. People that we don't see every day, look. Come on, folks. If she is yours and you saw her at a party, say something. If you have a sister, a niece, a cousin, say something. You know? So there you go. So look at the comment sections. We're not alone. But anyway, this is from the presser that I was showing you about the ping. It was from 8:13. But let me go back to it so we can talk because it's about this phone ping. So hold on.
I love Rumple Longhair's comment. Hey, Lindsay.
What does it say?
Hey, Lindsay or Lindsay, we got a hobby. Kiely made sure of it, in my opinion. I love that. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, and it's like we did not choose to just focus on this because we had nothing else to do, or like, yes, there are a lot of people missing. A lot of children missing, but my heart for some reason pulls me to this. I think about this, like I want to make sense of it. It's like a puzzle, right? From my end, like I want to understand because I feel like the answers are right in front of our face. There's injustice, it's not, something's not right.
I gravitated towards this case because I've always been into true crime. I've always watched it. I've been an avid follower of all the true crime channels on here, like Annie Elise and everybody.
Yeah.
I had just had my daughter not too long before Kiely had went missing, and I'm a mom, and seeing Lindsay's reaction and how she wasn't grieving in a way that I would have grieved or whatever, it really made me question things. So the further that I started looking into the case, the more I was like, whoa, this is weird. It doesn't add up. And I kept thinking, like, if this was my daughter, I would want people out there fighting for her. I would want her name all over the place. Don't stop fighting for her. And I think that that's what really keeps me here, is because if I think of Kiely as if it was my daughter.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, I know we're not going to, I'm not over here trying to solve the case either because I'm not law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
We're not over here trying to do something that people with badges that are doing. All we're doing is having a conversation where everything was put out there. I mean, like I've been doing research on Jaylani Day, like all these cases that are kind of ignored. I think I'm doing, but there's not a lot out there for you to have. But the Kiely case, so much stuff was put out there until it wasn't.
Right.
So look at all these press conferences until there wasn't any. So of course we're gonna look at it. Of course we're gonna listen to it. Now, am I sitting here like I don't want to sit here and say, and act like I know Lindsay, but the other night we were talking, and I don't know if you were there in B box, but
I might
I
have
had
fell asleep.
I had some issues because Brian Laundrie's parents, were sued by Gabby Petito's parents because,
Yes.
and they won the settlement.
hmm
$3 million they won. Gabby Petito's parents won 3 million, or they won the case. I don't think it was a monetary thing they were going after. They just wanted to kind of hold the Laundries accountable because they knew that something bad happened to Gabby, and they were not coming forward and saying anything because they wanted to protect their own son.
hmm
And so the Petitos sued the Laundries, and they won 3 million. Again, money doesn't matter, but see that those parents had an issue, So Lindsay, in my opinion, shouldn't be hugging Sammy. She should be, in my opinion, like hounding down on Sammy. Like, why did you leave her? I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna sue your parents. Like, this is not okay.
She could have a wrongful death suit right now. She could have had a wrongful death suit forever ago, since she blatantly admitted that she was the first person to, or I mean, the last person to see her. Like, you're admitting to sharing alcohol with a minor, even though you're still kind of under drinking age or whatever, but you're still an 18-year-old woman who is capable of knowing right from wrong. And you gave alcohol to this girl. You left her behind at this party. You were the last one to see her, and it ended up in her death.
Like, you said it. You said it to the world.
You were responsible for that. Lindsay, why she is not suing for a wrongful death suit, I am so sorry. That's wrong.
I
She
just
should
thought
sue.
that she would. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, but then again, right? People can come and say, "Well, you don't know how someone should grieve." I don't. I don't. You're right. I don't know how someone should act, but I'd be pissed off if someone said, "I left her there because she was too drunk to drive me home." I don't know what kind of person you have to be to not be mad about that.
Right.
I just don't understand. Think about it for a second. Here, let me drop Larissa's channel here because we're literally vibing so much. I like it. Okay.
Oh, I do want to say, Goslin said that my latest liar video struck a nerve with somebody. I definitely would say that I step on toes and I strike nerves with a lot of people. That just goes to show, though, their reactions to things just go to show how much I'm putting out there that might be true, and they get defensive. Like, when you get defensive about something, that means you have a guilty conscience about something, in my opinion. So,
well, the way to look at that is, like, you cannot control, and this is from every perspective, you cannot control how other people react. That's on them. You can only control you, right? So you say your piece, say your truth.
Yeah.
And what everyone thinks and says is, like, really none of your business at that point, right? So if someone has opinion about me or what I say or how I say it, it's not my business. That's them. And it should not affect me, right? Like, it's not my business. Like, what is it saying? It's not my business what anybody else thinks about me.
Yeah, it's not. I personally just don't care. Like,
well, that's kind of the thing, and that's why I respect you. Because when you speak, it strikes a nerve in me because you're speaking, from your heart. And you're not calling anyone, like, you're not like calling people names, like
no,
you're a fucking bitch, or you're not being a ruca, you're not like,
yeah,
fuck you. No, you're just like, hey, this doesn't sound right. Right. And sometimes I feel like I had that voice that you have, because I feel a lot of the same way that you do, but I'm more afraid, but you have a lot of courage. I respect you for that. And even though we're not the same type of person, like, we've been on live together this long because we share the same passion.
Yeah.
And we're two different people, and maybe having different personalities will help bring people together.
I agree.
From different whatevers. But yes, I'm a baby, y'all. Yes, I'm a baby. It's fine. Don't clip that. Okay. If you do it, just tag me in your video. Okay. White Rain, me too. It's pulled me in. Hold on. I want to get into that though. I doubt the laundry. Yeah, it was. They didn't sue because they wanted $3 million. They just wanted to hurt them. Basically, you're going to spend your whole life trying to pay that back. They wanted to make them suffer for the rest of their lives because the Petitos lost their daughter. And this daughter, I feel like Gabby is like Kiely, like the same sort of just so innocent, almost trusting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Second autopsy. Yeah. And so Jelani Day, if you know about Jelani Day, Miss Slaughter, do you know about Jelani Day?
I don't. I have actually been looking into this Sean Daughtry case.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been looking into that one. That's really got my focus other than Kiely right now.
Jelani Day, the only reason I have a focus on that is because I think it was Chicago. He was found in a lake. And he was
Is
studying.
that the little boy? Is it? It's a little boy, right?
No, he was
No?
he was already in medical school.
Okay, I'm thinking about somebody else. Okay.
He was in college, and he was going to medical school. He was like an adult 20-something-year-old, and he was found in the lake. His car was parked randomly like by the lake. The mom was like, he would never come here. This is not his part of town. And I don't know if it's true or not that some of his organs were missing or not, but right now no one has been arrested for his death. And in the autopsy, it just says drowning. But like what he just like walked into the lake. And then like he wasn't even in his clothes. I think he was naked.
Oh,
but
wow.
No one has been prosecuted. I have some videos on my channel, but y'all look up Jelani Day. I think that case, but he's also African American. So I don't know if it got that much attention.
That's what is shitty about all of that, because they usually don't get a lot of coverage, and they should get a lot more coverage than they do. And I'm happy that you're putting videos out on that.
But y'all look into Jelani Day, and like there are no answers. And the mom to this day is still trying to find answers. Like he was found in the lake, and because I was searching cases of bodies found in water, right, to kind of see how different law enforcement departments in different states approach this. Comparing is your best way of learning.
Yeah.
So Jelani Day, y'all, don't forget that name. And some of you may know that case, and some of you may not. But the mom still to this day is trying to find justice. And law enforcement doesn't seem to want to be cooperative, because the last time he was seen was going into a smoke shop to buy, a cigarette. So I don't know. I don't know if they're just thinking, oh, it's just gang related or something. Like, why? Because he's African American. But look into Jelani Day. Don't let his name die either. And that's why I wanted to talk about Kelsey Smith too, because Kelsey Smith is the reason why there's even a bill out there. It was presented to ping phones.
Wow.
She needs to be honored. And I'll show a video of that here in a second. Plates were missing. Are you talking about Jelani's? Let's see. In the beginning, LR said KR that she was sorry and just to please come home. Sorry for what? Probably sorry for, not waiting up for her, maybe. I don't know. Don't know how I mixed up a link with my comment. Type your full name. The what? The Petitos? Petitos? Is that what
the Petitos, I think.
Okay. Here, let me play the rest of this and kind of like talk about that phone ping, because I do want to still focus on this, because I'm not sure about what it means.
Today we have.
That's what I was told, is that it was near the water and searches took place near that vicinity. Are those going to continue?
Yeah. Today we have 226 searchers. Pretty astronomical number.
So they said, are these going to continue with the ping? She talks about the ping. And then she says, are the searches going to continue? And then he just goes in again with more patting on the back. Yeah, we have 1,226 searchers. Dude, answer the question. So hold up. Shoot.
Bless you.
Yeah. Today we have 226 searchers. Pretty astronomical number. I think the overhead team at the search and rescue.
At that point, he didn't even answer the question anymore, so I'm not going to play the rest of this, which should tell you a lot.
So 220 searchers were sent over to that phone ping area? Because that's what she's asking about. Did you have 226 divers or 113 people in the water and 113 people on the ground near the phone ping, like even then, divide that into land and water as much as it was on land and water, you would still have enough people to find a car that is 14 feet in the water when AWP found it, but allegedly the water was 2 feet higher, right? Because it had receded. So, okay, so 16 feet of water, and you're telling me at least, let's say 100. You know what? Let's say 50. You know what? Let's say 10.
Still couldn't find her.
Right? Okay, so now you're going to hear a second reporter ask the same thing, something regarding the phone ping, again, asking for the location.
The Prosser Lake is where we're focused on right now.
The Prosser Lake is where you're focused on. Okay.
But again, that doesn't mean that that's the last location.
Well, then what the fuck does that mean then? Why are you saying that you're focused on it, but it doesn't mean that that's the last location? What else do you know, sir?
Preach. Amen. Absolutely.
But
for the location.
The Prosser Lake is where we're focused on right now.
You have 226 people and you're focused on Prosser Lake? And you couldn't find a car that was 50 feet away from the shore, 14, let's say 16. What the fuck were these people doing in the water then? Were they just looking out to see if the fucking car would pop up maybe?
Throwing events. That's what they were doing. Throwing events.
Were you at no, because they were singing with their guitars by the RV where Sammy was there with her clipboard writing down names. Bitch, you know what the fuck happened to this child, and you're over here, you want to like, I'm glad did all the whiteout on your legs help find her? Yeah, maybe Kiely can see that from far away. Oh. Nah, I'm angry, sorry.
But again, that doesn't mean that that's the last location. So.
When was the ping that you had?
Basically, the reporters are trying to get where is this ping? You have two reporters now asking, where is this ping? They're trying to, you know what I'm saying? And this was before they found her. This was August the 13th.
Prosser Lake is where we're focused on right now. But again, that doesn't mean that that's the last location. So.
Fuck you.
When was the ping that you had?
She said, when was the ping that you had?
I think the last location known that we've put out, from I think day one is around 12:30.
I'm going to let you.
The last location that we put out was 12:30. If you believe the fire cam footage, 12:33.
You rewind that, but she asks what time, and then I'm sure his brain is just going a million miles an hour, but the ping location and information is substantial, and they're not telling us everything. I think this phone didn't last ping at the lake.
Along with air and ground searching.
And then I went in to show that stupid video.
So somebody in chat earlier said that the fire cam footage showed her car going in at 12:51. So that's way off.
No.
Doesn't make sense.
I know a young man killed overseas, went missing first and found murdered. The family stopped information, so never found out any details. Oh, damn, paper. Let me look at some of these. Exactly. So many of these cases are all because of the actions of the parents. Yeah. I'm still of the belief that the Truckee Way doesn't want to stir the pot, solve because they will lose tourism money because that's how they support the town or community. Well, honestly, something like this is not going to stop people from going. If anything, it's more people are going to go now. Because this now has become some sort of like celebrity, some sort of spot to stop by, because some like the, those like murder houses, like Amityville Horror. That's now an attraction. People like this kind of stuff, so they're gonna go and be like, oh my god, this was the last place that Kiely was at, and they're gonna go and like make it a whole, event.
True.
I mean, that's what Check It TV. Oh, look at all these people that went after the fact and put out videos for it.
Yeah.
But what they didn't want was they didn't want their secrets to be told out. Like the Randy Brooks, did you see the video? that Randy Brooks goes there or went there when Kylie was little. He was there, like jamming out with her. Randy Brooks wrote "Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer."
Oh wow.
That guy.
Wow.
That's the type of, he won Grammy awards, dude. And he's there at the lodge, and Kylie was like 7. You know those little videos where she's
Yeah,
playing guitar.
yeah.
Yeah, Randy Brooks was in that room playing with her.
Wow.
So that's the type of celebrity that went there. You think they go there to kind of be under the radar. I didn't believe it until I saw that research. I was like, okay, now I get it.
There's a lot of celebrities that have a lot of condos and stuff out there
that want to be under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I kind of don't know where to go at this point because I wanted to talk about the phone ping. I don't know if we learned anything from this though, other than I'm still confused.
We're all confused, I think, but I do think that it was informational about the phone pings because we did learn, that we did get some of at least my questions answered as far as, how far back can you see the activity and how accurate is it and things like that. So we did get a good gist of the phone pinging and how it works, I think. Because, we didn't know if they can track the phone's whole day activity or not. So now we know that it's 48 hours. We didn't know if the last ping was super accurate or not, or whatever. And we learned that, it possibly couldn't be. As long as the phone is on, we know that the ping will work. So if the phone is off, it's not going to work. So I think that it was really educational, but I think that we definitely are still very confused and have so many questions. And I think that that's how I feel on every live that we do, is you do a live and you run through it and you just have so many more questions after you go through the stuff all over again. It's crazy.
Right. And law enforcement they received a lot of heat because where she was found, law enforcement said, they said it themselves, we've already searched over that area, or that area had been searched and they didn't find her, but AWP did. And and then you're going to go into the formality of trying to figure out why. And they do that in the press conference, try to figure out why. They're asked what is different, we don't have the same type of training, whatever, but fine. But the thing is, they got so much heat from that KCRA had to release this news broadcast 2 days after she was found to explain.
Yeah.
That's how much pressure they were under, because they got a lot of criticism over not finding Kiely from not just the people from there, probably from the world. So KCRA, that is from Truckee, that's like the news place from Truckee, they had to put this out on the 23rd, dude, 2 days later.
That's crazy.
Kiely was found on the 21st. They got law enforcement got a lot of heat. So then this newscast is designed to kind of explain why they didn't find her. It's like, well, it's not accurate, 50 feet to 500 feet.
It's like it was to cover their ass a little bit.
Yes, it was to cover their ass, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Because they never made a video like this before.
Yeah. So, and yeah, they had to do it. Everything that they've been doing is to cover their ass. The reason why they didn't show the full footage of the surveillance photo is because they needed to cover their ass. We can think it's Kiely, or we can think it's Sammy, or we can think it's some other random chick. We don't know for sure because we're not seeing video footage. We're seeing a photo that's blurry and looks photoshopped a little bit, in my opinion. It's just all really strange, and they're doing things to cover their asses. They're avoiding or dancing around questions. There's all these people who have inserted themselves in the case. It's like, why is there so many people involved? I don't understand it.
Hold on. I have to take a second here because Miss Kelly is in the chat, and I'm kind of I'm a little starstruck right now. Miss, what's the obsession? My love.
Oh, I love her.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's really great.
Oh my God, I love her. Right now, she's covering the Murdaugh case.
Yes.
Doing an excellent job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, you guys need to go watch her stuff. She's one of the smartest people I know. The reason why I even was confident to start a YouTube channel was because she was kind of like my inspiration. And she's amazing. I'm gonna drop her link down here. But I love her so much. I'm so
Great
proud of
channel.
her.
Great
Amazing
channel. She does great work.
Yeah, and the fact that she's here saying hello means a lot. So
I know. That's awesome. I'm glad I'm on panel.
Oh my goodness. And she knows she did a lot of research on the Kiely case too.
Yep.
And she says she knows a lot about the ping. If you want to come up on panel or just talk in the chat, just thank you for being here. But yeah, that's kind of, I want to do more research on this ping situation. I think it's important, and I think, oh, thank you, Miss Kelly. You're so fun. I love you. Tried to hand over the phone information to CCTV. I don't know, over 6 months ago. We'll have to talk privately. I have info for you. Okay. You have my number, ma'am. Yes.
Awesome. That's
awesome. She's great. She's yeah, I love her. It makes my heart happy that I saw you. Who are you talking about, Miss Laura? I want to know who's Miss Kelly. What about young, handsome black kid in Arizona? Car was found. His father has been looking for him, and he was going to be an archaeologist here in Arizona. Really? You got to tell me that name. Got to tell me who that is. I love you, Miss Kelly. Turquoise says, I would give anything to see any and all transactions of sales of property, tangible and intangible, to and from KR mom, dad, and granddad, and people that was at the party. Well, I mean, that's I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna get. Yeah, of course you are, Miss Kelly, and Larissa is Miss Slaughter. Deal with it.
Deal with it.
Okay, so I'm gonna end this here shortly, unless Miss Kelly wants to come up and talk about the phone ping. She speaks better than I do. But again, the reason why I started this live was because I wanted to talk about Kelsey as well. And so I hope I'm going to play a little video, Miss Larissa.
Okay.
And then yeah. So this is Edwin Hall was the one that was convicted for Kelsey's. And if you guys are just joining in, the reason why phone ping, you can ping a phone now, is because of Kelsey Smith. It was the Kelsey Smith Act. She was abducted from a Target 15 years ago. 2007 is what it said. 2007, she was abducted from a Target. She was sexually violated and then murdered and dumped. And Verizon, the phone company, took 4 hours to give law enforcement any sort of information regarding her phone, because there was at this point, I guess there was no like laws or any kind of like procedure for missing people and finding them with cell phones or using their cell phones to find them. So because of this tragedy, we are now where we are with phone pings. But I'm going to give you, this is from a newscast where it actually went to trial. The guy was caught and he says, I'm so sorry. So I'm going to put that up here. So just check it out.
Hall goes to prison for life for the murder of Kelsey Smith last year. Both Hall and Kelsey's family spoke to the judge today in an emotion-packed hearing. KMBC9 Peggy Bright is live right now at the Johnson County Courthouse with the story. Peggy.
Well, Larry, tears flowed in the packed courtroom today as memories of Kelsey came pouring out. There were also words of apology from Edwin Hall himself, and there were words of both anger and sorrow from Kelsey's family.
I miss my Kels. I miss her laughter, her smile, her loudness. I miss my baby girl.
Kelsey's 18 years of life were celebrated by family and friends. Hall admitted to kidnapping, raping, and killing her in June of last year. He found her shopping at an Overland Park Target store.
People go and live amongst others of his kind in a steel jungle. And they find rather than being the predator, he is now the prey.
Hall's lawyer said the defendant's years of abuse as a child were not an excuse, but an explanation. But the only sympathy the Smiths have is for Hall's young son.
My only satisfaction is knowing that you'll forever spend the rest of your life behind those bars.
Never will you get to see the kind of man your son could have become. Forever he will have to live with the consequences you chose and made for him.
I will continue to pray for God to protect that little boy. He is going to need it.
I am so sorry for what I've done. That's it. That's all I can say.
I don't know whether it was sincere or not, but kind of like everybody said in their statements, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything.
Now, Missy Smith also said in court today that she knows about abuse as a child, but she said life is about choices, and Edwin Jack Hall made all the wrong ones. We're live in Olathe. Larry, back to you.
There we go. I put the link in there for you. I'll put it in again. I haven't seen any notification, but that's what happened. Thank God the person was caught. But this was the newscast about Kiely. Here we go. Kelsey, sorry. But this is why phone pings, that's why you can ping phones now. It's because of this situation. Good night, Rosie.
I said, I love you. And that's the last words that I ever spoke to her.
It's going to trigger me.
God, that makes me so sad. Like, I hate seeing stuff like that.
Miss Kelly is up on panel.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Hold it. I got an echo. Hold it 1 second. I'm
Okay.
doing the bad thing. It's always on my channel. Okay, there we go. I'm so glad I caught you just like at the right moment when you were talking about that too. How are you guys doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I actually had kind of a funky day. My dad's brother died this morning. It was a very sad day and some other weird.
Gosh, I'm so sorry.
No, I appreciate that. It was just so I can't say, I'm a little bit not my normal, feeling like my normal self. So if it comes across like that, I just want you to know why. It's nothing personal to anybody.
I understand.
So, I'm so glad you're still covering this case. There's a lot of people that watch my channel know I'm a full-time behavioral therapist and focusing on students in a special education program with behavioral therapy. And these kids are like, okay, I'm not my channel, so I can say this. They are like, what the actual fuck just happened? Like it's head to me every day. Sometimes it's like a little too much. So then, and I have the YouTube channel, which is my side gig, which is like a 40-hour thing. You know how much it takes. So anyway, I want to keep focusing on all of the cases I've touched, but there's just not enough time or,
absolutely,
you know what I mean? You'd have to have a whole production studio, in the news.
Very
crazy. So
very
I'm
timely.
glad that you're still talking about this.
Especially when it means something to you.
It is. Yeah, you're totally right.
You got to spend some time on it.
That's right. Absolutely.
To be authentic in your research.
And that's absolutely correct. And which we always do. And, oh gosh. So I don't even know where to start. Okay. So Kiely Rodni case. So before, let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. I'm just trying to put back in time frame. You know what? Let me look at my phone and my text with CCTV because that'll tell me exactly when I got this information. So some of you may or may not know, I've done a lot of things in my past, like for work and a lot of other things too. Like, let's be real, but we're talking about work right now. And I was a site acquisition specialist for a private firm. It was a small firm, but it was a firm who basically helped different cell carriers expand their capabilities I worked exclusively for Verizon, and it was just a matter of great timing. It like blew up my resume, but then I got a next job in that field, and they ended up laying me off like 2 days later. So
Oh wow.
I wasted my awesome resume expansion on something that was totally a dead end thing. But anyway, I got to, head up what was called the Pope Project when the Pope came to Philadelphia in whatever year that was. Was it like 2000? I don't even know. It's a quick Google search away. I can't recall. So anyway, so I worked with a lot of people who were brilliant cell phone data experts. I mean, it was, I still don't understand some things that were said to me or some of the things we looked at because there's just so much that you can tell. And there's so much these guys can tell. And there's so much more to be told than even what is rendered in even the most expert and well-written and thoroughly investigated forensic report. Like that's just something I just want to put out there, and we can follow up on anything that interests you guys later because I really have to go to bed too. I'm super tired. I'm so happy to be here. And so there's that. So I just want to put that fact out. So the way that I have gotten some cell phone records that other people are unable to obtain, including at times law enforcement. I have no idea what the case is here because law enforcement is so screwed up with this. Well, I mean, they often are when a case like catches on and we start talking about it, right? But this is like a special kind of screwed up in my opinion. But anyhow, it was one of my good friends. There's two people that own the firm that I worked for, the site acquisition firm. And the way I started working there was that I was this guy's private yoga and Pilates instructor for like a decade. His wife hired me when his dad died and he was really stressed out. He started doing drugs and drinking and they had a kid. And she's like, calm him down. He's like going off the edge and I just want to stay married and do something here. Like I'll pay you every week. I was like, okay, cool. I'll take your money. Good. I love teaching yoga and doing Pilates.
So I know you love your Pilates.
so then, and she actually took my classes too. So I became very friendly with both the husband and wife. They're really great people. I'm still in touch with them. Anyway, I left Philadelphia just for a couple of years and came to upstate New York where I'm from because my son had a pre-leukemic condition that needed to be treated at a certain hospital up here. And I also needed the support of my family because it was very scary. He was only 2. So then eventually I was like, I don't want to be living up here. I'm going to move back to Philadelphia. I love Philadelphia. I'm going back to Philadelphia, but I don't know what the heck I'm going to do for work. Sold my yoga studio. Don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm talking to him about this and he calls me back like a day later and he's like, you know what? This might seem totally crazy for you. And I know you have experience in the field. He's like, but what I really need is someone who can do really thorough research and write a good report. And I know you can do those things. I'm like, oh yeah, I can definitely do those things. I was like, will it pay enough for me to move back to Philly? He's like, hell yeah. Like, when do you want to pack your bags? Pack your house. Come on. So I was like, yeah. So that's how I got that gig anyway. I don't know why I tell you all that background, but there you are. Because people question me on it a lot. Like, it's a fake story. It's not. It's my life, dudes.
Yes.
So, we were talking about this case. And he was able to access before. Okay, this is where I'm sorry. This is where I went off into my own personal
That's
rabbit hole.
okay. I like it.
So it was before her phone. Okay, hold it. It was before we knew anything about her phone, okay?
Right.
He had the exact times of the pings and the coordinates, the precise AGPS coordinates. So AGPS, some of you that have watched my channel may know this, is something that only iPhone has. I believe that's still the case. It's called assisted AGPS, and it uses those very accurate 26 satellites that are, up in outer space, way above our atmosphere, plus a cellular data transmission, which makes this locating service the most precise, accurate, reliable, and consistent that you are going to find. It passes all the scientific method tests, and that's why I really like it.
Wow.
But if you have an iPhone, honey, people know where you're at, exactly where you're at every hour of the day. So you better turn that thing off. But I've heard recently, even if it's turned off, they still know where you're at. So it's kind of crazy. But anyway, I digress. So, so he had the exact times, which turned out to check out. That I just have one discrepancy that I would be happy for you to share. I've never shared it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And if you want to share this information, you can, because I'm not talking about the case anymore. I can only do so much. So, and the exact, latitude, longitude coordinates geo coordinates, and the cell towers that the call is pinged off of. Do you know how accurate and precise you can get with those 3 pieces of information?
Like to the degree. Yes.
It really narrows down the possibilities, and I'm talking about all of the possibilities that exist in the physical plane, okay?
Mhm.
And then given what we know about that night and Kiely and other people, I think it almost I believe, and I will be very interested to know what you think, that it pinpoints a lot of details that we have all wanted to know the answer to for a very long time. The reason I never put this information out was this guy's, my friend,
Of
I'm just
course.
going to call him M, his partner, who is a female, and I'm just going to call her the female partner, because she would not want me talking about her. I know that. She is a former vice president for Verizon, and she comes from like the compliance world, and she is very like dot your I's, cross your T's, which is good in business always. You want to do that, but she is very she is one of the most detail-oriented, meticulous, I want to say like anal retentive people. You know what I mean? I don't really like that term, but she's like that. You know what I mean? She just likes to keep her ducks in a freaking row.
Well, look, and if you guys don't know about Kelly, like she's in that professional world. So, you're going to meet people just by having friends and being in fields. And what college did you go to, or university?
Villanova.
And so she works in that on that side of the world. And
Yeah.
you're on the eastern end.
Yes, that's right. Yep. I have nothing to do with California whatsoever. But here's the thing about cell phone data. Don't really matter where you are. If you got the right connections, you can get it. And this guy, M, who is my very long time friend and been in this business for, I think he's over 25 years now. Their company is wildly successful. I mean, we got the whole account for when the Pope came to the United States for like the only time in like 50 years or something. That's like really crazy, you know? And anyway, so he has access to anything. I am careful about what I ask him for, because I don't want my personal friends to feel like I'm like leveraging them for my YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But so I have to be careful about when and what I ask for. You know what happened with my friend Alex, the attorney, Ara. So I almost lost that relationship. And
Lots case.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember.
And that dirty guy. So
Yep.
anyway, okay, so he was like, well, he gave me a date that I was going to get them, and I gave CCTV a date because she's right there. I wanted her to have the information and look into it. I was going to talk about my channel too, but I was happy to share the information. It's not mine to own. It's not my channels. It's not mine. It's ours for the sake of justice, right?
Exactly.
So that's how I feel about stuff like that. I freaking hate it when people like copyright strike you because I saw that you used a picture that had my freaking logo on it. Well, you know what? That picture is a matter of like public consumption anyway.
Yes.
So get over yourself, sweet thing.
Amen.
And if you're
Oh my
hearing
God,
it, girl,
I love
you know,
you.
yeah, I'm talking about
Kelly's awesome, dude. I'm telling you.
I know. I
Oh
watch
my
her
God.
channel all the time,
You know
but
how many
I
exclusive
love it.
watch photos I've had that I have seen everywhere on every channel, and I would never. I don't care. Like, good. I'm glad you found them. I didn't
Use
give them
it.
to you, but you found them. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Exactly.
I mean, anyway, I'm sorry. I digress.
No, you're good.
Now, I remember I told CCTV I was going to give her the information. It was in the beginning of October, okay? Of last October. So I just remember that. I didn't check it. But it was sometime in the beginning of October before my son's birthday, which is around the 15th. I'm going to say that. I don't like to give too accurate information.
Okay, you don't have to.
So that's when we had that data. And I told her, I gave her a 10-day lead from when he had the data and shared it with me. And I said, I told her in 10 days, you can have this and we can talk about it. Well, during that time, he said, well, listen, please don't go spout off on YouTube just yet. I got to ask Claire, I'm like, I know, Claire, I know. And so, and it's never been an issue. He's only been, he's a couple times he's gotten some information that I personally couldn't find. I don't think anyone else could. I could be wrong about that. I don't know, but he was able to get it. And he always runs it by Claire. They're very good, working team. That's why they have a great business. Apparently he told me he does not know why. I asked him a couple times to follow up because it was really weird the way he described her reaction. So I also would like to know what you guys think about this. it caught me off guard because the way he described her reaction, I know her pretty well too. I worked with them every 6 days a week for 5 years, and I knew her prior to that, and after I worked with, I don't know, I was like, that's so weird she reacted like that. He's like, yeah, tell me about it. He's like, you should have been there to experience it. And then he immediately changed the subject, and I was like, nope. I'm like, I can't go any further with this. I was like, okay, well, thing is, I already actually had a copy of the phone records.
Oh, snap.
So now I'm like, I don't know what to do because I'm not exactly sure what to make of this, but if I put it out there, maybe, and I talked to CCTV about it, and then I eventually talked to him about it, and he said, listen, I did give them to you, and you're going to do what you're going to do with them. He said, but I have to ask you, he said, I will actually plead with you. Due to Claire's reaction, do not release that information until I tell you you can do so.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, and I never got an exact answer on why that was. So I'm not clear if, is she just going through menopause and was having a really bad day? I don't think that's it though. Is she, or is she, did she think that Marco overstepped his bounds and that was like the last straw? I don't know what's going on with them. Or did she overreact because she knew that it was dangerous information to pass out and to be in possession of?
It still triggered her. It still triggered her.
It triggered her big time, and she's not triggerable. She
go.
is that like steady, meticulous, detail-oriented, nose to the grindstone. Nothing moves her east or west.
Well, what about the phone ping? What about it?
What about it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give it to you so you can talk about it.
Are you sure that's okay?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him tomorrow, and then I'm going to call you, and I'll make sure it's all okay.
Well, then we'll work on that. How about that?
You tell like enough time has passed. But yeah, that's actually a good question. I kind of feel like it's almost like not fair game because that's disrespectful to him, but it's almost like it's not the juice anymore,
Well, I want to be respectful to you.
The filing cabinet.
I want to be respectful to you. So anything you give me, like I'm gonna always pass it by you. Like, is it okay if I say it like this, or because like you know how to do the YouTube thing. Sometimes. And how to give information. I trust you. So if you do trust me with something like that, if you trust, you remember the other day when you texted me and you were like, thank you for everything you do. Is there anything I can do for you? And like, I didn't respond because I was like, what do you think I'm going to ask you for anything? Just like you being my friend.
You always can.
No. I'm like, but you just like being my friend and supporting me and like texting me every once in a while and saying, hey, like, good job on this. That's all I need.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. No, I think that I really appreciate you. Wait, Turquoise said all I can hear is the tone of Kelly, no words. Am I talking too fast or too loud or something?
No, I'm sorry. We've listened to you for like 3 years, 4 years now. So you're like a songbird here at this point.
Gotcha. Okay.
But so then, okay, with the phone ping, at least may I ask you, the phone ping, was it close to where she was found?
Yes, it was. Yes. It's not shocking. I mean, I don't think people are going to be shocked.
By how many, like how close was that ping, like to where she was found?
It was, okay. So here's the thing. There's, what another piece of information you need when you're looking at this data to make it mean even more are the available, towers or antennas, probably towers being out in the middle, out in the middle of the woods like that, where they were probably be towers. What are the available towers that have Verizon antennas? Because all cell phone companies now co-locate, they call it. They all hop on each other's towers because really, seriously, how many cell phone towers can you have in the world, right?
Clearly.
So, and then among of those, Verizon servicing towers and antennas, which ones connected with the level of service she had at the time? Well, I already know all that information, figured all that out. So that's just now easy.
Well, look at the map I have here. So this is a map from 2020. These are the towers by the lake. Okay, so these are just those standalone towers. This one here is the Alder Hill Tower.
What years are from 2020?
Yes. Okay. But you're saying Verizon. I didn't know that Kiely had Verizon.
Oh, okay.
But that now you're answering some questions for
Okay.
me.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that was okay. Yep.
Okay. Good to know.
Let's see. So I actually will give you, I can get you the map. I can probably get it to you pretty quickly. And this is perfect, and this is really hard to find. Like you do such good research. I think your channel is very high quality because of my friend.
Okay.
I have the cell phone map that was live, like on the day she went missing, because
I want that.
Yeah, others
I want
like
that so badly.
I can't get that. You have to be, you
Yeah.
have to, have a certain level of it, but it's not privileged information. It's not someone that his partner can object to or that anybody could get in trouble for having.
Right.
It's just in order to actually get your dirty little paws on it, you need to have like some passwords and stuff,
Yeah.
So
I would
I'm
love
just gonna
that.
have to find it in my Kiely files, and
Okay.
I promise you I will send that to you tomorrow for sure.
I just that I've been working on this for a long time, and I think I want to know so I can at least answer some of my own questions.
So what do we know, if you're not my friend M? What does everybody else know who's also not in law enforcement about her cell phone and the pings and all that information?
I want to know if they ping the phone,
Mhm.
when they say we pinged her phone, does that mean that they send a signal out after she was reported missing, or are they going after the last pinged location of her phone? Because I don't know the answer to that.
Well, I sometimes think when I listen to those investigators talk, I don't think they know what they're asking, honestly.
But what do you think? I'm asking. Did they
normally
ping
if
the
someone
phone
says we
after she
pinged
went
her
missing?
phone, they mean they were pinging her while they were looking for her to see if her phone was still live, if it was still showing up on, with cellular data, GPS or a GPS, because an iPhone will always do that. If it didn't do a hard shutdown, like smashed to smithereens a la NK or submerged in water.
You just said hard shutdown. That's what law enforcement said. They say they
Yep.
describe it as a hard shutdown.
Oh, interesting. I remember. I forgot that. So the hard shutdown means that it was forced off by something that's not healthy for a phone. A soft shutdown is like when you hit the power button and you turn your phone off. Or even if it runs out of battery, that's a soft shutdown too. A hard shutdown is going to be submerged in water or smashed, basically.
So if they have this location, they're pinging it. That means that they're sending a signal to it after she was reported missing. Allegedly, if she went into the water that night, the water would have already been submerged.
It would have done a hard shutdown within the absolute miracle max would be about 2 minutes, but probably within about 30 seconds.
But so then having that information, they would have found her like right away, in my opinion, and especially having 226 people, as we just heard in this press conference.
Okay, so you're saying based on the fact when her phone did a hard shutdown, saying that that's going to really tell us it was in the water, and how were they like looking in that lake and not seeing her under just a few feet of water in that crystal clear, beautiful lake in the summer?
Well,
right.
I'm talking about the narrative that we're told to believe.
Right.
Right. She was at a party. She drank too much, drove in the water. Case closed. Let's move on.
Yeah.
But then you would have found her right away, right?
Yeah. I mean, how could you not?
So again, but
I mean, that literally means that every single, what was it, the freaking 19 agencies and the blah, blah, blah hours and the blah, blah, blah people. I can't remember all the exact numbers right now other than the 19 agencies. That every single agency and person and man hours spent looking for this sweet little girl who had nothing but a bright future ahead of her and thinking about how could this happen, where should she be. Every single one of those agencies and person completely ignored and defied Occam's razor in every single possible way. That is not human behavior. That is not what people do.
Thank you.
It is not.
Thank you. And then let's say, okay, they all made a mistake. All those 19,000 hours, 200, 300 people looking.
Right.
They made a mistake. Fine. Then wouldn't the family be kind of like upset and maybe try to sue? Or do something, right? Like with Kelsey's law. You know, they're like, Verizon took 4 hours to give us the information. You know, if we had the information of her last phone ping, then we would have found my daughter sooner and she probably wouldn't have been dead. That's why phone
Right.
pings. You can ping phones now because of Kelsey Smith, and don't y'all forget her name.
Yep.
Just like Amber.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, and just my God, as a mother, it makes my blood boil. My God, if something like that happened to my child and we were so close to saving his life, my
Right.
child's life, if you just did shit correctly, I would never stop screaming about it at the top of my lungs until every single one of those motherfuckers was in prison.
And you're gonna hug all of them? You're gonna hug them all.
Exactly.
You're
And
gonna hug the person that said she was too drunk?
being concerned about changing the Amber laws when everybody's gathered to search for your daughter. Oh my God, shut up.
Literally. And Miss Slaughter right now is
I
the
forgot
perfect
how much
time.
I hate this case.
That's why I can't get off of it. But right now, Miss Slaughter is the
Know.
perfect time to ask Miss Kelly anything because she's on it right now.
Yes. Oh my God. I just want to make sure. Hold it.
What do you think about the theory that people say that she was put in after the fact?
No,
After the party.
I just don't. I don't know. I just don't think. I don't know. I haven't been able to find a clear path to that conclusion. Like, let's say that.
Yeah.
I mean, not that anything's clear. I haven't been able to find a logical path to that conclusion.
Right, because we still want to use common sense. Because if she was put in after, think about how many people would have to be involved in that.
Right.
That's like a whole project.
And
there are people around.
That's totally right. I mean, yeah. And I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I get it. Like the fact that I don't know. The fact that I think you and I talked about this a long time ago. That, I know there was a point where I believe we both felt like, one of those kids is going to crack, man. They're just kids. One of them is going to crack. We just have to wait for it. Somebody is going to crack. It is also not the nature or the behavioral pattern of adolescents whose human brains don't fully mature until you're 25 or 26 years old. Has anyone heard me say that before?
Yes.
And the last part of your brain to mature is the part that
yes.
makes good decisions and is able to keep your mouth shut and use discretion in what comes out of your mouth. So a group of teenagers who are like 6, 7, 8 years from their brain fully maturing in those ways to the point where it's even fully functional, all of them not talking, that's not like real world stuff.
It's survival mode because people that age, their only logical reasoning from what I've seen by teaching is like save my ass.
Right.
And that's it. Just save my ass.
Right.
Not a lot of kids like try to do the right thing.
Right. But then, even if save my ass was probably the strong initial driving force for all of them, there are those in the group. I mean, how many of our teenagers today have impulse disorders and ADHD? I could probably give you some statistics if you really want them, but somebody was going to be driven by impulse over self-preservation once the initial fear of, freeze, flight, flock, or that came into play with the Idaho 4 case.
Yeah.
Once that subsides, that many teenagers, at least one of them, I bet the ranch on it, is going to be driven by impulse and they are going to talk. I would never, ever in a billion years on any planet believe that many teenagers are going to not speak for this long.
Well,
and how many hormone cycles they've gone through between then and now? I mean, come on now.
Well, yes. And so who was the person right from day one saying, come to me first?
Sammy.
So it's kind of like they're telling, I think she would have control over, you know what, don't tell the police that, tell the police this or not.
Absolutely she would. I 100% believe that she was somehow involved. I cannot imagine anything that could be introduced that would change my mind. If it was compelling evidence, I certainly would not, defy rational thinking and data to like stick by my opinion. That's not the kind of thing I do. But I based on everything that I've seen, heard, and, listened to others think through and whatnot, I firmly believe she was somehow involved. I can't say anything more than that because I don't know how.
Well, let me ask you this, because you're a psychology person. So Sammy inputting herself quickly in front of this and trying to basically filter statements. Is that like a sign of like panic mode? I have to, oh shit, I did something bad. Is that like self-preservation act?
I think, okay, so I know I did like, I don't know if I could find, I don't know if you want to, I know I did a little very succinct short little video clip on this. Sammy, okay, based on watching her nonverbal communication indicators, along with what she is saying, and considering the setting, the time, and where they're at, and all of these things, it is very clear to me. And I actually ran this by two of my colleagues at the time who are more experienced behavioral therapists and analysts than I am, and we were in absolute consensus that I don't know if you remember me talking about this, that
Yes.
there's no doubt in all of our minds that Sammy Smith did not like Kiely Rodni one bit. In fact, she shows clear indicators of absolute disgust and contempt for Kiely Rodni. So I think that Sammy's frenetic, behavior towards the beginning could definitely be an indicator of guilt and trying to cover her tracks and fear of the consequences in her future if people know what she did. Or it could, or whichever one, I don't know. I think it was also that, if you are being that, if your behavior and what you're doing and what you're saying and telling people and the stories, and there's always lies if you're not being authentic, right? If you're being all like that, you at some point when you're under the scrutiny of national, international news and law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, even somebody as kind of full of herself in this teenager way like Sammy Smith is going to start to feel a little bit insecure. And I think she does what she always does when she gets a little uncomfortable or insecure. She counts on her grandiose sense of,
entitlement. She's entitled.
Exactly. But also, her she thinks she's a bomb. She's like,
Yes.
I'm gonna talk myself out of it.
She's the popular girl.
And I'm just gonna do.
Everyone's gonna listen to me.
Stop doing for a long time. I mean, the girl didn't sit down or stop talking.
But she does this with every situation. I'm thinking in her life, like she is that powerful. She takes the stage and she has a limelight on her. That's what she needs in every situation in her life. That's what she shows me.
Yeah, and needs is like I think to me is like the strong word there. She does need that. And I think, that just says more to the fact that she had disgusting contempt towards Kiely, because I think Kiely was the kind of person, if you were like
naturally took the limelight,
present with her or truly like bonded with her, that is not consistent with the person that Sammy Smith has shown the world that she is, in my opinion, allegedly. And
Kiely takes a limelight in a room just for being who she is, because she's what she is. We have seen
very
smart,
natural,
talented, and
Mm-hmm.
she will take the attention out of a room. And for someone like Sammy, that's threatening, because Sammy uses her body and her voice to be loud, when Kiely just uses that with just quietly.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Yep.
Dino asks you, are you okay with asking a question? I know you only wanted
to. No, that's okay. That's fine.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. So Dino says, what's her thoughts on the nature of unaliving themselves? Could that be a factor in the case? Like, I guess if Kiely drove in there on purpose to unalive herself.
Yeah, I've
considered that too at some point.
I certainly have considered it. And, this is really just my personal opinion. And, in the work that I do, doing, I'm a lot of crisis intervention and having a lot of training on, all I can do is say, like, I am aware of the evidence-based indicators that we know to be true through rigorous scientific, testing of finding out what is true about human beings, right? I did not see any indicators of suicidal ideation or suicidal plans in Kiely. I did not. I could be wrong. I'm not right about everything. That's for damn sure. But I considered it. I eliminated the possibility for myself.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's not true. Because Jagger says, like, I hope this is the peace that you were looking for, or I hope you found the peace that you.
Yeah,
I think that's why people gravitate towards it, because of that statement.
Yeah, guys, listen. Like, I've noticed, like, with like this case and a lot of other cases, I'm sure I've probably done it before. I probably still do it. So I'm not like discluding myself from this group of people I'm about to criticize, but it's not really critique. I just want to share my observation. We are way over analyzing isolated bits of information, including sound bites. And that's a very dangerous thing to do when looking at things objectively or just in life in general. So like, let's just all think about that and try to not do that. I really noticed that with this case and the Idaho case.
Yeah.
It made me drop out of the conversation because it honestly just drove me nuts.
Yeah, and I would do that with Nicole Kessinger. Like I was like,
Oh yeah. Oh
slicing
hell, I
up
did that. I
everything that
definitely
she
do with
said.
Nicole Kessinger.
We
Yeah,
did it
for sure.
together
Oh yeah,
a
we
lot of the
did.
time.
We spent many hours
Shit,
committing
yeah.
that sin over discussions on Nicole Kessinger.
Her statements, yeah, all the interviews.
Yes,
We've been there. So
been there.
but yeah, she wanted out of there. I don't know if I don't know where to go from here. I'm really curious about that phone ping. If you can send me that information, I will keep it to myself.
Yeah, so here's my plan. So I will definitely send you either when I get off, if I can find it quickly, the live to the date that Kiely Rodni went missing, cell phone or cell tower map that also I've already labeled it. I was going to put in a video, but I just never did after that. I had that conversation with my friend, and I was going to give it to CC too. So I haven't talked to her in a really long time. Anyway, I'll handle what I need to handle. Anyway, but I will get that to you. I will indicate the towers that are her carrier.
Okay.
And I will, and then you and I will talk about what should be expected and what we actually see. And then whenever my friend gets back to me tomorrow, I will just, run this by him to make sure that he's not like, if you do that, I'm going to burn your house down and sell your child into slavery. Like that would deter me from giving you that information, but I think it'll be fine.
Well, it's a good thing I don't have a child. But look, you already know me. You wouldn't even offer to share that information if you didn't already trust me.
Oh my God, no way. Oh no. Oh hell no. I don't think there's another channel I just would have gotten on and like suggested that, except maybe CCTV, but I haven't talked to her in a while.
Right. But okay, look, let's talk after this, or just text me tomorrow because I know it's like 3 a.m. your time.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry. I just started to choke. I take a drink of something.
Right.
It is. I'm going to bed like right now. But
okay.
Thank you so much for having me up. And hi guys. It's so great to see all of you guys. I'm so glad everyone is still interested in this case and supporting Ara. And you're the bomb girl. But I will talk to you tomorrow. I might send you an email with that map in a few minutes. If I don't, I promise you'll get it tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for being here. I'm going to share this video and tag you.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I definitely will. And who else on panel? Mama Slaughter?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice. I'm sorry I was kind of talking over you, but I was listening to you before I came on and overtook things. And I think you're very interesting, and it was nice to be on panel with you.
Awesome. It was nice to be on panel with you as well. I love your channel and I love all the work that you do.
Awesome. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Awesome. All right, sweetie pies. Everyone be safe. Take care of yourself and others, and I will hope to see all you soon, and definitely you tomorrow, Ara. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
Good night. Or good morning in her case, because it's like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
She still has to put all her bunnies to sleep too. Do you know she like sells bunnies? She breeds bunnies.
Oh, no way. No, I didn't know that.
Yes. And so like when she goes live, you can hear the little feet of the bunnies.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's like the scratches, like,
oh,
like in their case. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm like, okay, bunny break.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, she's great. She's very, very intelligent.
She uses big words. I like it.
Yes.
Her sentences, yeah, like that's all you need. But she's an amazing. We connected through the Chris Watts case. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Yep, I am.
Oh,
very.
We share our hate for Nicole Kessinger.
Oh, I hate her too.
It's like Sammy Smith and Nicole Kessinger are on my shit list.
Yeah, and Casey Anthony.
Oh God, yes.
Don't get me started on her.
Well, maybe for another night, but shit. This turned into like such an amazing live, thanks to you, and then Miss Kiely kind of gave us dessert.
I know, right? That was great. Dude, we've been having some really kick-ass lives lately. Like, I'm very, very proud of us.
Yes, I hope to have you up again on panel.
Yes, ma'am. Anytime you want.
If you're up for it. I'm going to end the live here, though, just because I have a lot to think about, and I hope you guys got something out of this. I don't know what to do from here. I'm just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
What did we just do?
We just shared a whole lot of frustration and a lot of questions and a lot of factual statements and some new information, and it's a great life. It's been a great life. That's what we
Yeah.
did.
Like these newscasts and all this stuff, like it's like a blanket for me. Like I need it. I don't know. I love you guys so much. I'm sorry if there's anybody in the chat I didn't say hi to. I'm usually really good about it, but it's like the amount of people that were watching, and then like also the amount of comments. It's just it's a lot. So I apologize, Miss Larissa, if I seem removed from any statement that you gave us, and I didn't respond to it. Maybe.
Oh no. I think we had a great dialogue between each other. So
She used dialogue. God damn it. Fuck it. Fucking bitch is smart, y'all. All right. Well, okay. I'm going to share. I will keep this live up. I'll tag you guys. Thank you, Miss Larissa, for being here. And just everybody do your research, yo. Everything is on the internet. Google's great. Now we have AI. So go ahead and talk to yourselves, because AI feels like you just talk to yourself, essentially. But do the research and then come into lives and let's spit out facts, because Kiely deserves that. Kiely deserves facts, not drama. And so let's stick to the facts, and the facts will keep us together, because we don't know each other in real life. So why the fuck do we hate each other? We don't. Just stick to the facts. And correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Slaughter.
Nope. I think everything you're saying is right.
All right, Miss Manuel, thank you for being here and being on panel.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed our conversation tonight.
I respect the shit out of you, and keep doing what you're doing, okay?
I love you too, sis.
Let's go. And Miss Kelly, thank you for being here. I'm starstruck. So I'll see you all later.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye, y'all.